panicking. Don't panic. No, I am, because I'm going to lose my job.
A stitch up. It was a stitch up.
Shit! When I lose the small side of games, I'm upset. Because that's the fucking standard. When I don't see a team that wants to play the Champions League. You want to play the Champions League? Play to play the Champions League. And the same to you and everybody. And everybody that comes on the bench to contribute, to help. We work so hard, so hard to be here, and we give it away. The good thing we have 45 minutes.
Do you think the best team lost this time?
I think so, yeah. Especially for 160 minutes. I'm saying that, and they are saying that because they just told me that.
Who did the PSG bench?
Yeah.
Mikel Arteta. Oh, boss, that game against Bournemouth was crazy. The last-minute goal, we went nuts. Though some people say every time we win a game, we celebrate like we won the league. We don't over-celebrate, do we, boss?
Oh, no. No, Martin Odegaard. I don't think so.
Brilliant, that is.
Welcome back, familiar, to the All or Nothing podcast. I've got a brilliant panel today. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Everybody's channels is in the title. Make sure you're subscribing to everybody. And without further ado, let's get started, man. Kenny Ken, long time I ain't spoken to you. How you doing?
I'm all good. You know, it's been really busy. You know, last couple of weeks, there's been like people, you know, complaining because there's no action. Then all of a sudden, it's been absolutely mad. And this is, I mean, in essence, we only signed really two players. We only signed Norgard and Kepa, but because the wheel's moving on MADUEKE and the wheel's moving on Gyökeres, that's where all the excitement's coming along, because we've been told it's close, it's really close. Well, MADUEKE is done. Gyökeres is, well, he's in London, isn't he? So yeah, there is a lot of excitement and debate.
We'll definitely get into that. Big up to Kenny Ken, man. Big up to Kenny Ken every single time. Jez, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Yeah. Should I be excited? That's the question, isn't it? Should I be excited? Not overly just yet. If we get Gyökeres, EZE, then I'll be happy, you know. But we still need more, and we still got. Let's be fair, we still got crap to get rid of. But we'll see, man. But as always, thanks for having me on. Thoroughly enjoy this show, and yeah, be a good chat tonight.
Big up, Jez, every single time, man. Appreciate your time even while you're on holiday, and big up every single time, man. Shane, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Looking forward to it. As the lad said, there's a bit of movement now in the transfer window, or so it seems. I'm still not overly impressed with the business that's being done, especially the way it's being done, the money and stuff like that. But we'll get into all that. I'm just glad to be here with the elite panel and the wonderful chat.
No, big up Shane, man. Big up Shane every single time. I appreciate it, man. And Shane and Jez and everybody's links is in the title. Like I said, subscribe, help everybody out, help the community. Make sure you're subscribing. And Carl, how you doing, bro? You trusting the process? You believing?
Just trying to believe in it. Gyökeres is getting even closer. I mean, every time we hear Gyökeres, it's getting closer and even closer. It just sounds like a freaking Gillette razor commercial. It's like, it just keeps getting closer all the time. How about you stand a bit nearer to the bloody thing? Anyhow, but let's just see what happens, bro. It's dragging on. It's becoming the most drawn-out bloody transfer saga since fucking Declan Rice. It's getting silly now.
I hear it. Listen, we're all mates. We'll let each other speak. I'm just going to let's just do a free-flowing show. Everybody can speak. Everyone can have their say. I'm not going to say one by one. Let's just go topic to topic. Obviously, today, Ethan signs a 5-year contract. How's everyone feeling about that?
Yeah, good. Yeah, about time we got the business done. I rate the young guy. How much game time he's going to get next season, I question. But, yeah, we've got to hang on to these young people. I think it's been way too many times when we've had good talent that could become great talent, possibly, and we just let them go.
Gnabry, Harry Kane.
Yeah, I mean, we've done it way too much, and we need these players. He did good service last year. Can't knock it. He's a great talent for the future. He's going to keep learning his trade. I just hope this manager doesn't. What's the term I'm looking for? I just hope this manager doesn't turn him into a Martinelli, because Martinelli was a great player before Arteta came, and look at him now. He ain't the same player, not the same level, and I don't want that to happen to this young guy, Ethan Nwaneri. So, yeah, I'm glad he signed 5 years. Happy about that. Will he get the game time next season? Well, we will see. We will see.
Yeah. No, I'm happy with it. Sorry.
No. Just big up views for the raid. No, go on, Shane. Go on.
No, sorry. I'm delighted. I'm delighted he's staying. I would have wished him well if he had left, if I'm being honest. I wouldn't have been mad at him if he had left. I would have wished him well, because this manager doesn't trust him in his natural position in the 10. And he bollocked him last season for not tracking back. I get it. I do get that. But to the extent that he's being punished is crazy. If I was Bertha, I'd be sending him out on loan for a year. Send him to Dortmund, somewhere like that, where they'll build a team around him and he'll ball out, and then pray that when he comes back that this manager's gone, because I'm with Jezza, this manager doesn't know how to use him. He sees him, he's just going to force him to be a winger, which he's not. And I've openly said many a time that as far as natural talent goes, of the players that have come through our youth team, I think he's the most naturally talented that I've seen. I think he's the most naturally talented I've seen in my lifetime. And I include Saka in that. I include Wiltshire in that. I think that he's got absolutely. I think he's got that stardust, star quality. I think if he had come through Barcelona's ranks, he would have started maybe 20 games last season in the 10 for them, because they have a manager that just says, right, if you're good enough, you're in. Doesn't matter what age you are. I do fear for him under this manager. I don't know where he's going to fit in. I feel for the kid that he could turn up 2 hours early for training every day, leave 2 hours late, be the best player on the pitch in training, and know that he will never get in ahead of Martin Odegaard, no matter how bad Odegaard plays. There's no incentive for him. There's no incentive for him to improve. Maybe Arteta will surprise us next season and start playing him. Maybe Bertha will tell him he has to start playing him. I don't know. I do fear for him. If I was him, I'd look for a loan move and then hope that when you come back that this guy's gone. But I'm delighted he's staying, because I had a feeling that if Arteta had to force this kid out, that would have been worse than anything he's done for me. That would have been the lowest thing he's done. And I did fear it for a while when those rumours started. I thought, yeah, I wouldn't blame the kid if he left. I wouldn't blame him. But he's stayed now. I don't know what Bertha said to him. I don't know what's been done. I don't know how they talked him around. But whether the rumours of wanting to leave or just done to get a better deal, I don't know. But I'm glad he's staying, because, as I said, I put him ahead of even Saka when it comes to natural ability. I think this guy, under the right management, with the right team built around him, could be absolutely world class. And I rarely use world class, very, very rarely use it. I think it's been diluted over time. But I think he has the potential to be anything he wants to be, really. Anything he wants to be. But yeah, I'm delighted he's staying.
I hear that. I agree with both of you. Kenny, what do you make out of this? Because I feel like him signing a new contract, it could easily go down the road of Emil Smith Rowe, where Emil Smith Rowe just wasn't fancy. What do you think?
I think he featured about, they say he featured about 37 times. And the thing is that he's got to look at his mate, his good friend MLS, Miles Lewis Kelly, and say, look, the lad kicked the door down, to the extent that experienced players and experienced internationals were understudies to him, to an 18-year-old. And this 18-year-old is, like I said, first cab of the rank, for team selection for England at left back. And he's, and he hasn't really let anyone know. He scored in his England debut. So Ethan's got to look at it and think, you know what? There is a pathway. And the reason why there's going to be a pathway for England as well, we're going to get injuries. Simple as. The way with the Champions League being what it is, a proper competition, not the rubbish it was the season before, where it was just like contrived BS of the top teams always getting through, and getting through all the time, where you knew it was going to be the last 16, and then you knew it was going to get the full quarterfinals, all set up to make it easy for the big teams to win the competition. Now, doesn't matter. Real Madrid can play Liverpool. Bayern Munich can play Inter Milan. It's hard games, and Arsenal will have to prepare for the hard game. And there will be injuries because we have to be at it at all those games. So he's got to look at it this way and say, you know what, there's a part I've got to take. When I get my chance with injuries, I've got to take it. That's how he's going to have to look at it. Because let's face it, Lewis Skelly got in the team from injuries and then kept the place his own. Because at the end of the day, you got to make yourself undroppable. Ethan's had a look at it. I think I can see where the panel are looking at, because Mikel's really demanding of his forwards and midfield, especially attacking players. To the extent that I think he seems to be more impressed with what they do off the ball than what they do on the ball. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Odegaard gets in the team. Because he may not be playing well, but he does a lot off the ball. But off the ball, Odegaard wasn't doing anything. But Ethan and Haint wasn't as good as Odegaard off the ball, so that's why he lost his place. I'm glad he signed. I think that he should stay. Give it his all in pre-season and just wait around, because there will be games. We may not get Eze. So he's the next cab of the rank when it comes to the creative side of things. Odegaard might get injured. Odegaard may be so horrendous that he'll have to play. I mean, he's got to look at it that way, but I can see where you guys are coming from. With this manager, he's very stuck in his ways. But I'm just saying that we've got to move the wheel tactically, or we're going to be where we are this season. Even if we do move the wheel tactically, we still got a couple of teams like Man City and Liverpool better than us, and in the Champions League, we've got teams that are better than us. So it's one of those things where he's got to try something. He's got to do something different. Not try, just do something different.
I can see what you're saying, because I feel like this season's been the first season where it's come to an end and people are actually criticizing Odegaard. And I'm talking about the other side of the fan base, because before, Odegaard was protected as heavily as Saka. But this season, he's actually been open to criticism by the people that do love this system and love certain players and feel like we can't get any better. So if Ethan can perform like he did last season, yeah, maybe there is a pathway, because, I mean, what was his name? Egal. That's the first time I ever heard Egal say, when we were linked with Eze, Egal said, yeah, if Eze comes in, then we've got 2 English internationals. Eze starts, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, so you bench Odegaard. It's the first time I ever heard any of the top gooners ever say bench Odegaard in favor of another player. Now, I know that Ethan isn't Eze, but at the same time, I feel like they're losing faith with Odegaard the way they've lost faith with Havertz. So maybe there's something there. I think this fan base, they turn really slowly and they realize things really slowly. But I think the fact that a lot of this fan base want Eze, and a lot of them want him to replace Odegaard in that 10. I think that whole Odegaard aura and protection from this fan base, I think, is fading. And this fan base, they'll protect you, and then they'll drop you. They used to protect Nketiah, they used to protect Reece Nelson, they used to protect Callum Chambers and El Nenes, and then when they were done with them, they're not good enough anymore. They used to protect Jorginho. When we criticized Jorginho, they were calling us out about that. So maybe their perspective on Odegaard has changed. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, Carl, let's get on to Madueke, bro. Looks like we're going to sign him. Looks like that's all done. Are you excited, bro?
Not really. Not really. I'm still baffled by why we got Madueke, and I don't think it's going to be justifiable. It's the same sort of feeling as what happened when we got Kai Havertz in. I'm sorry. And Jez, listen, I know you said there is a player in Havertz, but to me, I just can't see it, frankly, if I'm brutally honest with you. Madueke, he's a carbon copy of Martinelli. He'll take his player on, but he either runs the ball out or his final touch and final shot is absolutely woeful. And you're going to put him alongside there. And I've said this for time with Martinelli. He needs an overlapping fullback so we can actually help him. ever since we've gone into this invertedness on this left-hand side, Martinelli just doesn't look like it hasn't been the same. He keeps getting doubled up all the time. He can't take on two players at once. So, and Madueke's now coming in there. Well, he's going to just be doing exactly the same thing. But he prefers to play on the right, so he cuts it on his left like Bukayo Saka. Well, you're not putting Saka on the bench, so Madueke's going to be a bench replacement unless he starts on the left. I just think that there are better players out there. You were Adamo Lookman that could have been interested. Anthony Gordon could be sold by Newcastle. That was someone we could have gone after. Alex Baena is someone we could have gone after. You know, there were wingers out there we could have seriously gone after that actually would have made a bit more of a difference than Madueke would. But it's like, what did it say? There was a chat in Leeds earlier. I think it was a couple of days ago. 17 Chelsea players have been bought by Arsenal since Arsenal's inception. 7 of them have come since Mikel Arteta has been in charge.
Yep.
That's a crazy statistic, and you've got to wonder what the hell's going on behind the scenes. Because I don't think it's no longer consideration that, it's all just keeping good relations. You don't buy 7 players out of 6, 7 players from 6 years on the same team and not think there's some sort of conspiracy or some sort of meddling going on. And I just don't like it, don't understand it. But look, Madueke's going to sign. We're just going to have to fucking suck it up and just get on with it, frankly. Whilst the other lot over the fence are going to give him all the time in the world, I'll give him preseason in the first 6 games to prove me wrong. And then I'll make my assessment from then.
Yeah. No, the thing with the Chelsea players is, for me, it all goes back to Arteta. I think the more of them that he brings in and they fail, the more he'll do it. The more he'll do it to prove that he can get it right. I think with him, it's an arrogance thing. Someone tells him he can't do something, he'll double down on it. Someone says, why do you keep signing Chelsea players? He'll double down on it. We got your man Maxwell as well. A few days ago, people have to remember another under 21 from Chelsea. You know what I mean? So he will double down on it. Out of stubbornness, this manager will double down on it. And the funny thing is, you have these people out there. Canton was saying that why wouldn't Madueke want to come to us because we're so much better than Chelsea and we can compete on all fronts, unlike Chelsea, right? We were terrible last season. We didn't win anything last season. We haven't won anything in the last 5 seasons, right? So if we're better than Chelsea, how can we? And we were terrible last season. How can we improve by taking the reserves of a team that are apparently worse than us? It's impossible. It's physically impossible to improve if you're taking players that can't get in a team that you were supposedly better than. It's absolutely impossible. And we don't need players to come in and fill gaps because we weren't good enough last season. So we need players that will make us better. The only position we've improved is up front. And that's literally just because you bought a striker. We could have bought any player whose main job is as a striker and we would have improved up front because we don't have a natural striker. Gyökeres will come in. I'm pretty sure his numbers will drop. It's nearly certain they will for the league switch alone. But the tactics will have them drop. Yes, he'll take penalties. Yes, he'll do this. I think he will score. Don't get me wrong. I think the guy will score. He definitely score more than what we had. But Madueke is going to be played out the left. That's an almost certainty to me that Madueke is going to be playing out the left. Signing Gyökeres has thrown Arteta's tactics all into whack, what he had planned this summer. He wanted Sesko so he could go long to him. If the short pass to Zubimendi gets figured out in the game, he can switch the long ball, where Gyökeres won't do that. So it's all being thrown into whack. Lee made a good point that Madueke's coming in because he carries the ball. But, the funny thing is, the one thing that Madueke can do, which is beat players, that'll be taken out of his game. That'll be the first thing that Arteta will stop him doing, taking risks. You don't take risks under this manager. So the one thing that he can do well will be ground out of him. He'll be brought in to carry the ball forward, stop when he gets to the box, turn back inside and play it inside again. Just like Saka is forced to do, just like Nwaneri is being forced to do. So signing these players, to me, it's under this manager, it's very hard to see how it's going to work. It's very hard to not picture him twisting Gyökeres' game. Just some way that he can say, look, I made this change to him and now he's scoring, or I made this change to him and look, now I've got him scoring headers, or now I've got him doing something. He won't just put him in the team and say, right, go out there and do your thing, and say to the rest of the players, this is what you got to do to feed him. Where at Lisbon, he was told, you do what you do, and then they get the 2 number 10s and the 2 wing backs and say, when he makes this run, you find them. Now we'll be told, you make this run, and you do that run, and you track back, and you do everything I tell you to do. I remember hearing Bobby Robson before saying that when he signed Ronaldo, the proper Ronaldo for Barcelona, that he'd spend all week telling him, make this run, make that run. And then he'd put him out in the pitch and he'd do the complete opposite. And then it dawned on him one day when Ronaldo was just smashing in goals. He said, why am I telling him how to make runs? He's the best forward I've ever seen. He should be telling me how to make runs. And that's what won't happen with this manager. He will tell every player what to do, and he doesn't know what he's telling them to do, which is just crazy to me. You know, I've said it before, and I'll finish on this. If Saka had been under, say, a Wenger or an Emery or Eddie Howe or someone who gets the most out of forwards, we'd be talking about him in a much higher light than we already are. His numbers would be a lot higher. His hamstring wouldn't have snapped off the bone. He'd be class, getting into that class that a lot of people put him in, which he's not in, by the way, of world class. He'd be knocking on that door a lot harder. But because of this guy, and regardless of what these cantons say, that Arteta has improved every attacking player, which I still find that ridiculous. With Madueke coming in, I don't see the point in it. And I really don't see the point in it. I don't see what he's for. And like Carl said, so many players have gone for cheaper. Conceição went for 30 million to Juventus, apparently. 4 installments. He's a better player, and it's half the price. So listen, time will tell, of course. And like Carl, I'm the same. I'll give him time. I'll back him as soon as he comes in. I'm an Arsenal fan at the end of the day. But I don't see how this is going to work out, because none of these Chelsea players have worked out yet. Not one of them. And this is just going to be another disaster in my eyes.
I hear that. Jez, Mosquera, what'd you make of this guy?
Well, look, I'm not going to profess I know a lot about him. I don't watch these leagues. I can only go on the balance of what people tell me, like yourself, Lee, Strasbourg, Steve Strasbourg. From all accounts, he's going to be a decent defender, predominantly, as Lee pointed out when we were first linked with him. A lot of people say he's left back or central left back. Well, actual fact, it transpires from what I've seen, as Lee pointed out, he's actually predominantly plays central right back. So I don't know what that's about. But if he's cover for Gabriel or cover for Saliba, he's a big guy. So I think that's a decent backup. Will he get much game time? Well, only, I think, if one of them two gets injured. But we need backup there, in my opinion. I don't think Kivois and all that are good enough in my book. But, yeah, I'll take it. You know, is he worth that money? Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? What we're going to see him playing in, probably League Cup. I ain't got a problem with that, because at the end of the day, we need squad rotation. It's been proven for way too long that we don't have the Kenny loves this term, squad depth to actually compete on 4 fronts. So I'm happy with that. But I just want to address a comment there nicely. Nicely, mate. You had a comment in there, a fella came up with that Chelsea have won 21 trophies in the last 100 years. Arsenal have only won 9. That is factually incorrect. Because I can think in the 30s, we won 4, 5, and then the 50s, FA Cup, 70s, a double. Then we went on, FA Cup, 69, we won the Intercities Fairs Cup, and then we won the Cup Winners' Cup. We won in 94, won the League and Cup double, domestic, first team to ever do that. And then, of course, we all know what happened when we went to the Emirates. Won another double, well, 2 doubles. Won 2 doubles under Wenger, is what I meant to say. Went to the Emirates, won 7 FA Cups. So I think you find that's factually incorrect, my friend. Don't know where you got that fact from, but it's very wrong. Kenny, would you disagree?
Yeah, I think it's just mischief. It's mischief making, isn't it? Because Chelsea fans like to revel on the fact that they're London's top club because of their recent success. And to be honest, heel cat is because they won the Champions League and they've beaten PSG. So, for Chelsea, if you're of a certain age, it's a good time to be a Chelsea fan, isn't it? Because you can just about forget the batterings we used to give them when we used to beat them home and away with our eyes closed in any kind of game. We used to smash them, but that's now in the really past. We beat them regularly now, but we've got nothing to show for it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's why Chelsea fans are always going to have that wood over us, and I say it in a footballing sense because of the Abramovich years. And let's face it, the only way to beat them back is if we become successful. But yeah, they haven't won as much as us.
I think he meant the 21st century. I think he meant the 21st.
He probably did, but
he said 100 years. 100
yeah,
years.
I think he got it mixed up by 21st century. Probably
I think, but the thing about it, right, is that
incorrect.
He's got a crest of the wave, isn't he? They did what we couldn't do, beat PSG comfortably. So yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
but hopefully their phase of big luck subsides, and we be like Chelsea. We start winning big trophies. We start winning Champions League. I just hope I'm alive to see it.
Yeah,
me too. At this rate, me too, because I don't really see it happening in my lifetime. But it's crazy. I mean, Kenny, and then everybody else can have their say on this as well. What'd you make of this window? Because I'm seeing some Arsenal fans online, obviously the ones that support this manager, support this process, saying that, wow, look how many signings we're making. Look how quickly that we're moving in the window. Look at the players that we're linked with, and the fact that we're onto our 6th signing, and look how many signings we're getting over the line. Some fans are saying this. What do you make of the window so far as it stands?
Well, think about the window. You can get excited about remember, it's like you're excited about the potential. Mm-hmm. It's like doing your A levels or ASL and having predicted grades. Your manager, your form, your 6th form head saying, "Oh yeah, he's going to get in his 3 levels, he's going to get 3 A's." But you haven't taken exam yet. You haven't put your name on you haven't put your exam number. You haven't put your name down. And you haven't started answering the exam questions. That's why when people say, how do you rate the window? It's like that. All it is a predicted grade. You won't know how good the window is until May. Until Gyökeres, performs. Until Mendy performs. And obviously, Madueke is another one you've got to look at the window because everyone's written him off. You don't know how good he's going to be. You're just going on a hunch of what he's seen in Chelsea. And I think that's the thing. You can only judge the window by excitement. But realistically, you have to wait till May because the reason why you have to May is because things happen. I've seen many a player sign for big money. After 10 names, they get a serious injury, they're out for the season. How can you judge that guy? Or that guy, comes to the club and he doesn't score. He has a difficult season. Chris Sutton had an excellent season at Blackburn, went to Chelsea. How many goals did he score at Chelsea? In the 99-2000 season, I only remember one goal. It's Man United.
Kazaragi as well, Kenny. Remember Kazaragi? Was a 3 games in career-ending injury.
Exactly, and he worked great even before he got injured. Look at Vialli. He won the Champions League with Juventus. Couldn't get a game when Zola got there. So I think what it is that I get the excitement. You should be excited because, regardless of what league it is. People are right. My brother is right. He has scored insane amount of goals. So fans will be excited, but wait till May.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we wait and see if we win anything. But if you want to go down the individual, Gyökeres, for it to be a success, has to score a shed load of goals. He's got to break the 20-goal mark in the league, not just league and cup goals in the league. because that's what Haaland did.
I hear that. Carl, I look at it like this: when people are getting excited, I agree with this comment here. Big up to you. Most fans don't understand the quality of the players we have signed, and when you look at a lot of the players that we've signed that don't have big names under this manager, they've been underwhelming. We're trying to get rid of Fabi Vieira because he's been underwhelming. Lokonga, another one that we didn't really know anything about, been underwhelming. Marquinhos, we didn't know about, been underwhelming. A lot of the signings that we've brought in that we didn't know about, Trusty, didn't even see him. Runnison, Carl Hein. Like, there's been so many players that have been no names. Under Wenger, we used to buy these players at, well, I personally, I can speak for myself. Maybe you guys knew them at the time. I didn't know all of them. Most of them I didn't know. I didn't know about Haleb and Rosicky. And I know Rosicky was at Dortmund. But some of the other players like Adi Bayor, Van Persie, these were players that everyone's like, okay.
Well, Van Persie can't do the youth system.
I know you're going to drop the bomb on that one.
He's 10 years in the youth system, man. He was 10 years in the youth system.
But do you know what I mean? Like Van Persie took a while to kick off. I remember he had a load of injuries. A lot of times he was sidelined with injuries and and then as soon as it clicked, you're like, whoa. Do you know what I mean? Like Wenger always had that eye for a baller. He always had that eye for a baller. Adi Bayor. I had low expectations of Adi Bayor when he came here. I was like, Adi Bayor, who's this guy? But then when he grew into look at the play that he grew into, and it's like under this manager, it's like I've not seen that development of any of the players that he's brought in. Declan Rice was well known. Let's be real. Kivior Kivior's been underwhelming. Zinchenko didn't do anything here that he didn't do at City, which is why they got rid of him. Jesus didn't do anything here that he didn't do at City. Same numbers, 13, 14 goals a season. I haven't seen this guy bring anyone and elevate them the way Wenger used to elevate players. So I don't know, man. I don't know what you make of this window, bro. But so far, I've got a massive question mark when it comes to Mosquera based on past recruitment. I've got a massive question mark on Zubimendi based on past recruitment. There are players that he's brought in. I mean, we already know about Kepa. We already see Norgard. These are like average players. But this manager, a lot of the times he gets it wrong. The last two that we brought in, Calafiori and Moreno, they are comfortably bench players. We just brought them in. We just brought them into the club and they comfortably hold bench. I don't know, man.
I think the thing we're looking at here, right, is I was like, Norgard, what we doing here? Why? What we doing here? Brentford, okay, bang average team, bang average squad. They had one, I think, decent player, Tony, but he buggered off to the Saudi league. I was always amazed why we never went in for him, and I think the problem was he's just got too much of an attitude problem for this manager. Now, I'm told Gyökeres has also got a bit of an attitude problem, as we've seen recently at his football club, not turning up for training because he wants out and he wants to force his way out of the club. Will this be a problem for Arteta? Maybe, I don't know. But the thing is, we have bought some absolute dog crap over the years. Come on, we have absolute, Shamak, people like that. The Japanese fella, absolute, I can't think of his name now. Sohing, what was his name? Sohing Park, something like that. Absolute rubbish. But I wish any new player well at the club. I want them to succeed. I don't know enough about Gyökeres. I don't know enough about Mosquera. Madueke, I've seen him play, not impressed. I've seen Arsenal games against Brentford with Norgard. He's okay, but he's not going to rip up any trees, in my opinion. At the end of the day, we're going to see. We will be excited come the start of the season. Well, we'll find out, won't we? Because look, we're still short of a few decent squad players. We need those players, right? Odegaard, for me, waste of time. Do we need a new captain? Yes. Who will I give it to? Gabriel or Declan Rice? Odegaard is, if if you took the captaincy off Odegaard, I reckon he'd be a different guy. I don't think he likes the pressure. To be honest, I think it's too much for him. He doesn't talk enough to the players for my liking. You need a strong character. And I think Rice or Gabriel would be a good option. But we know that won't happen. Havertz, in my opinion, I did make that statement. There's a player in there somewhere. Well, I got proved wrong. That guy, to me, should be going out the door. I think he's absolute crap. Jesus should be going. Zinchenko should be going. Trossard, I really like as a player, but I think he's regressed. Martinelli, I really like as a player, but he's regressed. And that's just starting. That is just starting. And you have to sit there, guys, and question what is the one problem. And it is the manager. He's a narcissistic, arrogant man that destroys the confidence, destroys the playing style of players. Martinelli under Emery was, I thought, wow, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at him now. He's nowhere near the quality of the player he once was. I think I said last night to Kenny Ken, I think one of the things he missed was the overlapping play with Kieran Tierney. When Tierney and him linked up down that left, they were dangerous. Now we haven't got that. And that's a problem. So I'm not going to gas up this window right now and sit here and say, oh, it's brilliant, it's 8 out of 10, which I'll see some absolute arsewipe saying. Because at the end of the day, it's not enough. We need more. We need a lot more. We need, in my opinion, gentlemen, another 5 to 6 players. We bought a keeper in. He's a decent backup keeper. Ball distribution. Look at the stats. I went and looked. Ball distribution is not good on his long kicks. Within 20, 30 yards, he's okay. We need more than that. He's not a great shot stopper either, Kepa. Look at the stats, right? He's got an attitude. That could be a problem. So, am I going to rate this window right now? No, I'm not going to, because I keep fluctuating between numbers. I will wait until the window's closed, then I'll give you my honest opinion about it. Because, yes, Himanshu, we need 5 or 6 more. We do. We need 5. We've got to get players out the door. Let's be right. There's a lot of players in this club that shouldn't be in now. Not good enough. Need to get them out. Get what we can get and pop the money in to get those players that we do need. We need Eze. I've been saying it now for 2 years. We should have got Elise. We could have got Elise, by the way. Could have had him. But no, we didn't do the business. So we're going to see the credibility of Berta. We're going to see what we can do, where we're going to spend it. And I don't care what anybody says. We need another 5 or 6 players to make this squad what we need to compete on 4 fronts. Because at the end of the day, we're a big football club. We should be competing in all 4 competitions. We used to do it. We used to. And we used to win trophies doing it. So why should it be any different now?
See, I don't think they realise, Jezza, about the size of the squad. These people, they don't realise what Arteta's done to us. How thin the squad has gotten. Like you said, we have to get rid of players too. So when we last season had a squad of 22 players, we've lost 3 of them, and then we lost Tomiyasu as well. So that's 4. So we've only gotten in 3 officially. Even if we get into 6, you know what I mean? We're only up to about 23 then as well. Then if we start selling players, it goes back down again. We need to get rid of Trossard. Looks like he's going. We need Kibio will probably go. You know what I mean? The squad's going to get thin again. We won't get that amount of players. I think we'll get a couple of loans. But as far as the transfer window goes, I do like Mosquera. I watch a good bit of La Liga. I wouldn't be as much as Lee now, but I'd watch a lot of it. He's decent now at his young age, and I give out to other people who are saying, "Oh, we signed Norgard, he's decent," and I say, "Oh yeah, really, that's what we need, decent." But he is decent for his age, but he has the potential to be good. He'll just sort of have to get there a lot quicker than he might. For the price, I suppose it's cheap enough. He has bozo moments in him, the way Gabriel did when he came in. But again, he could settle down like him. But the thing is, I've said for a while that Bertha would have known he was coming to us long before his contract ended. That big deals like that get done. I'd say he would have known at the start of last season. And Bertha is known for getting in players like a Suarez that he got into Atletico that has a year left in him. People think he's finished. He has a year left in him. But he's also known for getting in the likes of a Cunha or a Jota or someone like that nobody really knows about, and they become great. I was saying when we first heard Bertha was coming in, I was hoping that earlier in the season when he was still employed by Atletico but knew that he'd be coming here, that he had a couple of gems in his pocket that he didn't tell them about, that he kept for when he got to us, so he can sort of get off on the right foot and say, look, here, I'll get you these players, and here's a couple of gems. So I am hoping Mosquera is one of them, that he's one of those gems. But like Jez said, we're a big club and we should be competing on all four fronts. We shouldn't be dependent on things like this. We shouldn't be dependent on 7 or 8 signings hitting the ground running, because the odds of that happening are slim to none. And like Northside said, he named off all the signings that Arteta's made, how many of them being underwhelming. The only ones that have worked have been ones that everybody knew about. There was plenty of teams in for Timber. He was 50 million. That wasn't a find. Declan Rice wasn't a find. You know what I mean? Any signing he makes that is under 50 million, pretty much to a man, they've all flopped. Pretty much to a man, every one of them has flopped, being either bang average or absolutely terrible. So we have to remember that. I think we worked it out before that it's about 1 in 6 of Arteta signings work out. So if we get 6 players in, the odds are that only, from what we've seen before, that one of them will work out and that the rest will either be average or terrible. And we looked what happened with Forest when they came up and they signed 20 players. They nearly went down. They were a point or 2 points off going down. Yes, it settled down after a while, but we don't have time for this. Any team that's ever made that amount of signings, it takes a while. Chelsea, when Abramovich's first money with Nwaneri, yes, they finished second, but half the players didn't work. The half that did took a while to settle. Mourinho came in when they'd had time to settle and then took credit for all of them, their game getting better, but they had just settled into the league. I do worry with this amount of signings. I really do. And Norgard, like Jez said, he's bang average. Let's get it right. He's bang average. Why didn't Frank take him with him? Why did you normally see when a manager that's been at a small club for ages and he has his main guy there, when he moves to a bigger club, he takes him with him? It rarely works out, to be fair, but that's normally what happens. Why didn't he want him? You know, I mean, Zubamendi, I think there's a great player there, but he's going to get swamped on the first few games of the season. That guy's going to get put under so much pressure on the first few games of the season. We should be able to edge him into the team. We should have had someone there that is experienced, that he gets subbed on ever so often and then gets used to the pace of the game. So I worry for him. Gyökeres, I worry under these tactics. They're all very lucky that the vast majority of our fan base are so soft that they won't turn on them for a long, long time. We've seen that before. It takes a lot for these guys to turn on them. And I'm not talking about turning on them and abusing them and all that. I'm talking about demanding standards, like we get slagged for doing, like we get called out. How dare you demand standards? How dare you demand trophies? Enjoy the journey, all that sort of stuff. I mean, this isn't a hobby to us. All the people on this panel, this isn't a hobby to us. We take this home with us. This hurts when we lose. That's why we're seen as the demanding ones, because it's like when you have kids and you want to send them out into the world, you have to be strict with them sometimes. You have to do things that you don't want and demand things you don't want so you can set them up for life. These parents that just say, oh, look, we don't use no in our house, you know, all these hippie parents, kids grow up to be lunatics, man. And that's what a club's like. You have to call them out when things are wrong. You have to demand standards. If you want a hobby, you go get a wood burning kit or something. Don't follow my club. Like this isn't a hobby, man. You know what I mean? This means a lot more to us, and that's why we demand standards. So when we're looking at a transfer window, you have to look at it and sort of go, I mean, your man, what's his name? I can't remember his name, put in the chat. Oh, but Martinelli had his best season under Arteta. No, he didn't. He had his best season under Emery when he scored 12 and 14 games, mate. He didn't have his best season. 22, 23, he was good. Don't get me wrong, he was good. But then that season fell apart, and Arteta said, right, rip it up. We're not playing expansive football anymore. Now I just want my wingers to track back relentlessly. He had his best season under Emery. He got 12 and 14 games, and he looked like that's when Klopp came out and said this guy's a generational talent. But I do worry about the transfer window, as in anytime you have to get this amount of players in, and Jess is right, we need 4 or 5 more. We need 4 or 5 more easily. We won't get them. But if we want to compete on all fronts, and as Kenny said, we'll get injuries. We'll get suspensions. 2 injuries and a suspension. I pulled up the first team that we could have after 2 injuries and a suspension. I just picked some random players. It was horrendous. Marino was in midfield. Havertz was back up front. Madueke looks like he could be a starter. Even if we get in all the players we're meant to get, and I'm not talking about Rodrigo, that was never happening. If we get in Eze and we have Gyökeres, I look at that team, I still go, well, you're still not winning the league with it. You're still not winning the league with it. You might be up there around 3rd place, but you ain't winning the league. Because I see 4 teams finishing ahead of us, minimum. Chelsea, if they get a keeper, which they will. And they're in for Eze now, by the way. Chelsea, Newcastle, City, Liverpool, I'm pretty sure will all finish ahead of us. And that's not counting now that Villa don't have Champions League. They can make 10 changes every week for the Europa League, now that the Champions League teams don't fall into it for the whole league phase. So they'll come back into it. And then there's always one team that comes out of nowhere that has a good season, like Forest last season. It could be Brighton, or it could be someone will have a season like that. So my only fear is that we end up hanging in and around 4th and 5th, and he gets 4th on the last day of the season and keeps his job. You know what I mean? That would be, that for me, that would be the worst thing that could happen to us, because we ain't going to get another transfer window like this where we have this much money. But we'll see with the outgoings. I won't judge the transfer window until the outgoings are done. Once the outgoings are done and I see that he's getting money for these players, and when I see the wage that the incomings are on, I'll make up my mind then. And like Kenny said, and at the end of the season when I've seen them play.
That leads well to the next bit of news that I saw. And quickly before I say this, I just do you know what, Shane, yeah? And panel? If this window is as great as the people that love this process and love what's going on right now, yeah, then we should expect a major honor. Yeah, because they can't tell us that this is a great window and we finish second, and because we finished second 3 years in a row, that, you know, this season Arteta's going to bring home a major honor, then we should have that expectation if it's a great window. But we've seen in the past them call out great window, 10 out of 10 windows when we knew we didn't do what needs to be done. And nobody, and I find funny, and I'm gonna make sure I hold this fan base accountable. Not one person have I seen on social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, not one person has said this is not Arteta signings. They've all said the signings have been great. They like the signings that we've made, and none of them said it's not Arteta signings. So if things go sideways, as I expect them to, because I don't think this window's been good enough, even though there's 1-2 good signings within it, I'm not hearing anything about Arteta needs to be backed, because that was the narrative when it all went sideways with Edu. Oh, but Arteta wasn't backed. It was Edu signings. Oh, the windows weren't good enough. Okay, cool. This window, a lot of this fan base seemed to be very happy. I did a video today saying that we're always 3 steps behind. Gyökeres is not enough for us to win a major honor. There were some people in the comments complaining, oh, look at this guy being negative. Okay, all right then. If you think that Gyökeres is enough, if you think that Maresca, Mosquera and Kepa and Norgard and all these guys are good enough, I don't want to hear no excuses about this window wasn't good enough. I don't want to hear no excuses about this ain't Arteta signings. I don't want to hear nothing about this manager needs to be backed. Because as it currently stands, this fan base are cheering as much for Berta as they are for Arteta. It looks like they seem like Arteta's been backed. So if Arteta's being backed, that excuse goes out the window. I'm not hearing that at the end of the season, because best believe when things go sideways, they will sell Berta down the river like they sold Edu. This is how this fan base are. They always need a scapegoat, and the process must continue, and Arteta has to be the architect, and everybody else has to be the blame. Everybody else has to be the blame. All certain players that they gassed up have to be the blame. Oh, the sporting director has to be the blame. Oh, the ownership. Everybody apart from this manager. So as it currently stands, yeah, I've just put that in my notes. I'm going to remember that for the rest of the season. I don't want to hear nothing about this manager hasn't been backed. But that leads me to what you were talking about, Shane, in terms of outgoings. Kenny, and then everybody else can have their say as well. What do you make of Arsenal rejecting £18 million from a Serie A club that wasn't disclosed for Fabio Vieira?
Well, that's the thing. You know, this is a player that we bought for a bit of money. I think what it is that's an Italian club with no dough. That's the thing. When we try to move these players on to the league, it's not just it's not just like the salaries, it's the transfer fees. I think Arsenal should be looking to get more money for him, especially with the money of how much we bought him for. The fact he's still young, the fact that he still can get games in the league. Would Chelsea accept that for one of their fringe players? I don't think they will. They'll want at least 20 million more, and that's what Arsenal need to learn to do. And that's Berta's biggest job. I think Berta's biggest job is sorting out the players' wages in terms of like controlling that and getting better fees for our players. We shouldn't be a sure thing. We should be a situation where we've got to get them rid of them, or we'll never get rid of them. We got to box clever. You know what I mean? We need, as much as we need to get rid of players, we're not a charity. As much as we like to help our cousins in Serie A, we should be able to demand better fees for a player who the season before that was featuring in games for us. Sometimes big games. He was coming on big games for us. All right, he wasn't a roaring success, but he wasn't that bad. So, what we should do in conjunction with that is get better fees for our players. Trust me, I'd be surprised if we're still in this situation in a year's time. That's where we're going to see the best of Berta. Getting players, we know he can get players. I call him open goal Berta anyway. All the signings that he's made are open goals. Unfortunately, as long as he's here, alongside Mikel Arteta, you're going to see more Chelsea acquisitions in more coming windows because, unfortunately, it's a London thing. Players don't have to leave London. The deals go through really, really quickly. And both clubs have got a great relationship. And that's the situation where it's always going to happen. And the players are going to want to come because they're still going to be playing at a big club. May not get as much success as they have, but they're still going to be playing big games because they're playing for Arsenal. So you're going to see a lot of those open goal signings. But the trick is Zinchenko, move him on, but how much are we going to get for him? The biggest one where it's an open goal sale is Martinelli. Some people like Martinelli because of the excitement he gives a lot of fans because of when he's in hot form, he's unplayable. That pace, that directness. Fortunately, we didn't see much of it last season. We saw it against Real Madrid. We saw it in little snippets, but on a whole, we spent more podcasts talking about what Martinelli hasn't done or isn't doing. The fact is the sums don't match up. We're talking about all this money we spend in the window. I don't see how we can actually justify that outlay without making big money. And from what you just said about Vieira, if that £80 million from an undisclosed Italian club is what he's getting, that could be the sign of things to come with our players. So clubs are going to take liberties at the moment, but with a player like Martinelli, you can't take liberties with him. Realistically, if we get all the players we need, tell me about his game time. Describe his game time. If we get EZE, if we get MADUEKE, and MADUEKE at £52 million is brought to play in the team. Describe his game time.
But that's the thing. That's the thing that I wanted to say, Kenny, to what you said. This is where I disagree a little bit in terms of the player sale when it comes to the other lot. I get what you're saying when it comes to Martinelli because Martinelli's had decent seasons. He's had bodies at work at Arsenal, even though it's not been consistent, to show that there's been some quality to Martinelli. But when I look at players like Zinchenko, players like Fabi Vieira's never done anything for us. I think this season just gone, he had 4 goals, 4 assists. Season before that, he had 1 goal, 3 assists. Season before that, he had 1 goal, 4 assists. He hasn't got a body of work to show that we could actually sell the player. And I feel like we've still got a lot of players that is like, when you go on Car Giant and your car's got 100,000 miles on it or whatever, you put the model, you put the reg and the make and model, and everyone's selling it at $4,000, let's say, but you want to sell it at $6,000. But you can only sell it if somebody's willing to buy it at $6,000. And I feel like we've got a bunch of players like Fabio Vieira that teams don't want to buy him for more than 20 million. So why reject 18 million? It's not like we've got a whole line of clubs looking to come and get Fabio Vieira. We can only really, the only thing that hikes up a price of anything is demand, and there's no demand for Fabio Vieira.
I think that's the thing, but at the moment, that's the problem we have, is that if you're relying on these players, then the sums won't add up. The sums won't add up, because if no one's coming for Zinchenko and you're selling them at the song, then you're still going to be in a situation where you can't. You may think, you know what, I can't get Eze in. I can't get this guy in because Eze is a player that everyone's coveted, and everyone thinks that the MADUEKE signing is actually blocked, our possible acquisition of Eze. And now Chelsea are having a look at him. So it's one of those things where I always say, if you're going to go on a big shopping spree, the sums have to match up. And I think what the situation is that we got to get to a situation where we got to be better. Either put the players in a shop window, or just do better business. Play hardball with some of these players. Because what we're doing is we're just letting these players just vegetate at a great club. We're offering them contracts, renew contracts, hoping that we can, through the renewed contracts, hoping we could get big fees for them. But as you said, there's nothing. They're not sellable assets because they hardly ever play, and they're so down a pecking order that you can't even give these players away. So that's what we need to do a bit better, because at the moment, because what's going to happen is if we don't get rid of our players at competitive prices, then what will happen is that we're always going to be that club that does half jobs when we go into the transfer market. Instead of getting the players we need, so we need 6 players, because we can't afford it, we're only going to get 3. Because that's what we've been doing previously, haven't we?
I hear that. What do you guys think about selling players?
Well, we've got some proper dross in this club. I'm suspect that a club would come in and offer 80 million for him. It's clear he ain't worth that. I find that a bit amazing, to be honest. If we could, brilliant, fantastic. That means we can go and buy another couple of players. But
not 18, yes, 1.8.
Sorry?
It's 1.8, 18.
Oh, 18. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, 18. Yeah.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
No, 80 million to take it like that, man.
We'll be screwing if they rejected that.
Cut their bloody hand off. Sorry, I misheard. But at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, 18 million, take it. He ain't good enough, man. He ain't good enough. Get him out the door. That's money that can go to somebody else. I think it's madness. We spent 52 million on this MADUEKE. I don't see the value of that, but that's what we do, isn't it, with Chelsea? We are their retirement home. But at the end of the day, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. We still need to get the squad to a bigger squad. Somebody in the chat said earlier, Arteta likes to have a small squad. Yeah, because he's an idiot, and he's proven that for the last 4 years. Having a small squad, what has he won? Nothing.
Why were they crying about injuries then, Jez?
Exactly. So you get a player suspended, or you get, like last year, we had some horrendous injuries. Where did it leave us? In a very, very weak position. Oh, come on, Jez. We got the semi-final of the Champions League. Yeah, brilliant. And we got piped, and did we get to the final? No, we didn't. So what did that prove? We weren't good enough. And I'm fed up with hearing this all the time about, but we nearly got there. Well, nearly isn't good enough in my book. Nearly don't win you nothing. You only win when you're the best. And that was proven in the Champions League. It was proven by us in the League Cup against Newcastle. Couldn't even score a goal. Couldn't, in 2 legs, score a bloody goal against Newcastle. No disrespect for Newcastle, but we failed. We capitulated. And under this manager, since we've won since we won the FA Cup, right? We ain't got past the 4th round. Absolute bloody disgrace for a club that's won the most FA Cups, been in the most FA Cup finals, been in the most semi-finals, right? And we can't get it over the line. So we need a decent squad. Sorry, it's simple to me. Great managers that we've had have had a decent squad of not dross, great players, and players that can jump in who maybe not the best of the best, but they are great backup. You tell me, anybody here in the chat or on the panel, you tell me any world-class players we've got in this squad now.
0.
When we had a great team, yeah, and you can talk about the Invincibles, you can talk about teams after that, you can talk about teams before that. We had world-class players that would destroy teams. We haven't got that anymore. But we were told by this manager that he said his statement, fact, quote, we will win a Champions League in 2 years. Well, that didn't work out, did it? That didn't happen. So, where he said, oh, we'll get back in the Champions League. We'll get the big players in. Well, where are they then? What we got then? Vieira, as Lone Star says, Nelson, Lokonga, Hines, Zinchenko, Kibwa. They're not world class. They're not the big boys. I'm talking big boys, Mbappe, all that lot. The players we used to buy. Players that will get you over the line. No, sorry, we shop in the wrong stores now. And Madueke, is he world class? I don't think so. Do any of these players we've bought recently, are they world class? I don't think so. They're not the big boys that we should be getting into this club. And we won't get them. And I'll tell you for why. One problem. And that is a shit manager. Because this guy, nobody wants to play for him. Because I've said this so many times. All these players, that they all chat to each other. They're an elite club, right? They talk and talk and talk. Whatever group they're in, they're on an international duty, they're on holiday, whatever, they talk. And I'm sure you're going to have players like Aubameyang, lack of threat, and all that lot saying, no, don't go to Arsenal. Don't go to Arsenal. You're going to have problems there. You're going to go backwards. And that is the problem. It all comes back. Look, it's always a thing, a common denominator. When you've got a problem in life, there is always one problem that causes that problem. Yeah? It's the same in mathematics. There's a problem. It comes back to one denominator. And what we've got is a shit manager and a shit board. So take out the equation, the Cronkies, for a minute, because they put money in, right? We have a shit board, we have a crap manager, we've now got a technical director, whatever you want to call him, who's trying to do the best he can do. But I'm sorry, gentlemen, it's going to be the same old rinse and repeat. And I'll give you a prediction for this season. I reckon we'll finish out about 5th.
Mm-hmm. Jez, you see these players, Jez, yeah? If I was to be fair, when we're talking about selling players, you may agree, you may not agree. You guys may agree, may not agree with my evaluation of these players. But for me, Fabi Vieira, maximum 20 million. Reece Nelson, 10 million. Lokonga, 10 million. Hine, 5 million. Zinchenko, 20 million. Kivior, 20 million. Trossard, 20 million. Martinelli, 30 million. That is what I think is decent business for us in terms of the value of these players, in my opinion. That is the max that I feel like we could get for those players individually.
I think you're about right. And you forgot Jesus.
I'd go a bit less.
Jesus, I reckon you'd be lucky to get 5 million for him.
That's a contract rip like Tomiyasu.
Vieira 20 million, yeah, if you do really, really good business. Nelson, with his injury problems, yeah, maybe 10. The Conga, I'd say you're looking at 5. Hine, maybe 2. Zinchenko, you'd have to go about 10. You're going to have to knock off to put him at about 10 because of his wages.
Shane's even more savage than me.
No, but I'm telling you, man, because you have to take into there's some of these players that you see here, right? Zinchenko should have been brought in when the league was gone for the last 6-7 games. He should have been played in the 10. Number one, Odegaard needs a rest anyway. He should have been played in the 10. You hope that he scores 2 goals or some highlight reel assist. Because look at Kivior came in, did okay. Let's get it right. He didn't do great. He did okay. But we were talking about getting 15 million for him. After he played against Madrid and stuff like that, we were talking about 25, 30 million. You know what I mean? So Arteta should have had the sense to play these guys when the league was gone and maybe put some value on them, but he doesn't care. But I'm talking about Zinchenko. Milan did offer, I think it was 15, or there's rumours that they offered about that because they have to knock about 5-10 million off for his wages because they said, well, we're not paying him those wages, so you have to knock money off to pay his wages. These are all damaged goods, man. These are. I don't think I'm being harsh with those prices. I think that's the way I look at it. Martinelli, I think you can get about 40 million. I think you get about 40 million for Martinelli because he's still young and there's a player there. But the rest of them, to me, you'd be lucky to get. Vieira, 20, you'd be very, very lucky to get. And the rest of them would all be 10 or under. Maximum. When you take in the wages and how shit they've been. The Conga had 6 hamstring injuries, I think, in the last 2 years.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I can't even lie. That's what I thought the maximum would be. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna stick to that. People are saying 50 million for Martinelli. He's been shit for two seasons, bro. And this guy's supposed to be on the trajectory of Saka. Let's not forget that. This is why I don't like when people cuddle Martinelli. He was supposed to be on the same trajectory as Saka.
Mm-hmm.
He has never kicked on. People criticizing Saka, saying, "Oh, where's the numbers?" He's never kept up with Saka's numbers even before we said that. This guy's been inconsistent. What's crazy is this fan base. They say that they like Martinelli, but then they want to crucify Madueke. That's the same thing. Both of them are fast players with no output and no IQ in the final third. What is the difference? It's just one isn't Brazilian. That's the only difference. I've been saying that the Brazilian passport saving this guy. That's all it is.
If we sold
players, go on, Jess, go on.
Sorry to jump in, mate, but if we sold all of those players, right? Can you imagine the state of our depth of squad, as Kenny loves to get me say? Because we're not going to replace all that lot. We're not going to replace all that lot. You mentioned, I think, 8 players there to get out the door. So I was right then. We need to buy another 5 or 6, at least, before we let some of them go. I mean, I personally, I like Martinelli. I think Kenny disagrees with me, but he was once a good player. I think he's just been downgraded. Well, not downgraded is not the right term, but the manager's ruined him, in my opinion. Kenny, Kenny? Look, we've talked about this over a whole season now, probably 2 seasons, in fact. You let all that lot go. Right, we were in a worse state of a squad than this time last year.
I think the thing is that those players, realistically, they're not going to play. Martinelli's the only one who's going to get regular games. I think by default, Zinchenko, at left back, not sure. Fabio Vieira. I think we're probably going to be stopped out in midfield, even if we don't get the players. There's part because the other day, if Nwaneri plays, Ethan Nwaneri plays in the centre, then then you don't need Fabio Vieira because they're both left-footed. Sometimes they occupy on the right, and by offering Ethan Nwaneri a new contract, that can get Fabio away from the squad. Lokonga's another one. You know, he's still an Arsenal player as far as I know. So that's another one where he's not really going to play. And what we've done is we sent him on loan. Eventually, hopefully there's the takers. But yeah, Martinelli's the one, definitely. Zinchenko probably, where the left-hand side situation, we still like to play inverted, and we've let Chiellini go. So, and Calafiori really is a centre-half. So, yeah, I see where you're coming from with Martinelli, Zinchenko. In terms of Lokonga and Lokonga and Vieira, they're ones you have to move on because they're not going to get games. Kivior's, I see what you mean by Kivior as well. Kivior, well, if we sign Mosquera, then we could say Kivior, you know what, you've got a World Cup qualifying playing for your country, you're off you go, and sell him for a song. But I do think that all the players we're linked to and all the players we need, I could just see Arsenal thinking, you know what, they won't tell us that, but they'll just probably say that's our lot, and then but if we move some of these players on, especially the ones who can get us some fees, that will free up some space. Because Arsenal will tell you to their blue in the face, everything's all right with PSR, we're well within that, we can spend as much as we want, and then when we don't spend, we only get 3 or 4 players in. The same people who said we can spend as much as I want, I'm going to use PSR as an explanation.
No, I hear that. This comment here, yes, but Martinelli has potential. This manager just ruined him. But I disagree. The player's 24 years old. He's about to turn 25, yeah? He's turning 25, and we're still talking about potential. We expect players to start hitting their peak at 26. I'm sorry, I can't look at a 24-year-old player. Where's that same energy when it came to Saka? Saka's a year younger, and we expect him to be the finished article. So we can't just be one expectation when it comes to Saka that's a year younger, and we expect him to be, the talisman of this team. But then when it's Martinelli, are we still developing? He's still getting on. He's been here for time. My guy's going to be turning 25. I'm sorry, you're supposed to be hitting the peak of your powers. And for people, and somebody else put, he's a fabulous player. But his final ball and finishing needs improvement. Bro, so what is he fabulous at? Running around.
So the 2 things he should be good at, he's terrible at.
This is what I mean, bro. I'm sorry, Listen, chat. We can respectfully disagree, but I'm sorry. This is what you're telling me is he runs around. He runs around because all his deficiencies, all his deficiencies are the same as Madueke. You man don't want Madueke like I don't want Madueke because his finishing is rubbish and his IQ in the final third is rubbish. The exact same stuff that Martinelli struggles with. There is no difference. But nobody's looking at Madueke saying, "Oh, he's got great potential, though." Come on, bro. Like, let's be real. Like, what are you actually basing this off? Because let's just take away the passport, innit? Because the Ellie at the end of his name, is making you think, "Oh, yeah, but there's still something there." No, bro. You look at both players and you look at their profiles. They're identical, bro. They bring nothing else to the team. And as players, they're average players. You can't cuss Traore and saying, "Oh, he's big and he's fast and he doesn't do anything." But then when it's Martinelli, but he runs around and he's got the same attribute, but he's just as trash in the final third. I don't understand it. I don't understand that logic because he should be delivering. I'm not going to cuddle this guy. Like, he should be performing. If Saka should be performing, he should be performing. Straight up like that. You're a year older. You've been at the team as long as Saka. Where's the development? Name me one aspect of his game that's developed. And people say, "Oh, it's down to the position." But how come Moreno could perform out of position? I know not every player can perform out of position, but he's still playing in an attacking area. Moreno went from a defensive midfielder to a striker. It's not even near enough the same. You would think that if he was covering as a centre-back, it's a little bit more similar to his main role. Martinelli's still playing as an attacking player. I know it's not his preferred position, but you're still not offering nowhere near enough. It's not good enough for me, bro. I can't lie. Martinelli's got a goal, man. This whole thing about Martinelli, there's a player there. Even when he had, let's be real. When we looked at Martinelli and we liked Martinelli, it was always when the chips were stacked in his favor. The opposition had a high line. There was no defender around him. He didn't need to beat a man, and he's 1v1 with the goalkeeper, which means he was always limited. In my opinion, you're always limited because you only thrive in those situations. So every time that we got up a team with that 2 banks of 4, they kick back, they got defenders that do the dirty work. You don't see this guy in the game, even if he plays as a striker. He's always been limited, man. Let's just be honest about it, bro. This guy needs everything in his favor for him to prosper. And when it's Kai Havertz, we say the same thing. Kai Havertz will prosper when he's got space, when there's nobody crunching into him, when he can just doesn't have to stick to a position and does this whole versatility nonsense. And we say, yo, you're not good enough as a striker. Why does it change when it's Martinelli? Too much cuddling for this guy. I'm sorry. Get rid of him and cash in like Kenny Ken said.
Fair point.
Well, everyone agree?
No, facts. I definitely agree. If his name was Gary Martin, people would have been done with him by now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. And the thing about it is that when they talk about how he plays well for a Brazilian national team, I always say with Brazil is at its lowest ebb for years. You know, this is a Brazil that they'll be. If Brazil gets to the quarterfinals of the next World Cup, that's an achievement. That should be you know what I mean? Because the Argentina will smash them, Uruguay will beat them, Colombia better than them, and you haven't even talked about European cups. England will smash them if they put their mind to it. Spain will absolutely ruin them. France are too better than them. So these are Brazil can't compete with most of those teams I mentioned. And the thing with Martinelli, and I'll say it respectfully, it's not just Martinelli, it's Joe Linton, it's Jesus, you know, players like Cunha, players like Guimaraes. They wouldn't have got into the Brazil teams of 2002 World Cup winning squads. They wouldn't even got in the B sides. And the same with the World Cup winning team that got in '94 and then World Cup runners up in '98. In fact, the Brazil teams of the early century, these players wouldn't have got in there. It shows the depth of where Brazil are, that these players get to play. Thanks. And Martinelli, sadly, falls in that category because he would nowhere really get a game with the Brazil sides of their pomps. And some of these Brazil sides didn't even win the World Cup or the Copa America, but they still were great individuals and still had a decent teams.
Fair point, no.
What does dynamic mean? What do you mean by dynamic? Okay, he's got pace. What does dynamic? Where's he dynamic? I don't really understand that, bro. I'll be honest with you. I feel like that's just like I don't understand what you mean by dynamic, because he's definitely a player that is only good at one attribute. He's not versatile at all, because people are calling for him to play as a striker. Even if he plays as a striker, he's still going to have to come up against low blocks. He's still going to have to come up against defenders that are going to barge him off the ball. He's still going to have to be in attacking areas and find pockets of space where he's still got to find a cross. He can't even cross the ball. His passing is rubbish. A lot of the times he goes down the byline and then he turns back around and looks for flipping Odegaard or looks for the fullback. So I don't understand where he's dynamic and what. Like I don't really get it, man. I don't get this Martinelli protection. I don't. I really don't.
I think you know, respectfully to him, when I still say when he had Tierney as his backup and his overlap and Xhaka, they linked up very well on that left flank. That's gone now. That's gone. That's gone. And you're right. What I've seen in Martinelli has regressed in the last 2 years is he still runs with his head down. And that should have been coached out of him by Arteta or the coaches by now. And this is what I say. He hasn't improved. And I can't think of many players, if you guys can, or the chat can, under this manager, how many players can you honestly say have had a vast improvement? I honestly, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm missing something. but I'm not seeing
Gabriel
it.
will be the only one for me.
Who?
Gabriel will be the only one for me.
Gabriel.
That's it.
Okay. I mean, I've had
That's
people
it.
tell me Saliba, but I don't agree
No,
with
he
that.
had his best season at Marseille. His season at
Well,
Marseille
he
was
went
better
on
than
loan
anything he's
for
had.
3 years. He was out. He went on loan, so he learned his trade not under Arteta. Maybe that was a good move. Maybe you could give credit to Arteta for doing that.
He was trying to get rid of him, though, Jez. He was trying to get rid of him.
Exactly. He didn't
Get
want
Ben
it.
White his number and everything. Sent him out for a third loan. Looked like Saliba would never play for us. And that's the thing. Even with the players that have that you can claim have improved, a lot of them are just were so good that it was always going to happen. And then you'll never know how much they would have improved under another manager. I mean, when you look at the Saliba, Martinelli, all these guys, the players that we're talking about that will be sellable assets and things like that, they're a lot of them are still from the Emery era or they came through the youth team. I mean, Saliba was Emery. The Gabriel and Partey deals were already in motion when Arteta took over. They had already been identified. Timber was hardly a find. He was 50 million. Lewis Skelly's been played out of position. Declan Rice wasn't a find. Everybody was after him. It's 100 million. And then you wonder, has Declan Rice, maybe he's adapted to the 8, but if he was playing in a double pivot like he does for England all the time with us, I think you'd see a better player. You'd see a better player than you see now. As I said earlier, I still think Saka would be much further along now if he had a better manager like an Emery or a Eddie Howe. I mean, we're talking about what players has Arteta improved. You switch it to Eddie Howe. He's improved every single player on that team. Every single player he's improved. Every one of them. Isak was his numbers, if you want to talk about GA and stuff, I don't use that. But that was a risk. If he had come to us, if Isak had come to us when Newcastle got him, he wouldn't be the player he is now. That you can be sure of. Anthony Gordon, I wasn't sure about that signing. I thought that's a lot of money for someone who's, only played a handful of games for Everton. Started slowly. Look at him now, one of the best left wingers in the league at the moment. Jacob Murphy, it would have been seen as the championship winner. He was brilliant last season. I'm not saying the guy's a world beater, but you look at how much he's improved. Joe Linton was a failed striker, gone into midfield. Yeah, again, he wouldn't have got into the Brazil teams of old, but he's a fantastic midfielder. Tonali came in, had a lot of potential, but he's hit the ground running, had that, obviously, the suspension. Bruno Guimaraes, another one. He's come in, again, was a big enough signing, but look what he's done with him. Dan Burn was in and out of the Brighton team, scoring goals in a final. Then you look at Lewis Hall. I didn't rate him at Chelsea. I thought, I don't know about him. He's a great left back now. He absolutely schooled us in both legs in the cup. He's on $7,000 a week, by the way, Lewis Hall. $7,000 a week that kid's on. It's not like he came through the youth team. They paid 35 million for him. Livermento, one of the best young right backs around. So Eddie Howe improves every single player, where we're scrambling around trying to find one single player that this guy's improved. And that's the difference. You know what I mean? That's the huge difference for me. We have spent so much money because we can't sign a Lewis Hall for 30 million and make him great. We have to spend 50 million on Timber because he's ready-made. And he could ruin him as well. Physically, he could ruin him, by the way. Ben White was 50 million. That wasn't cheap. And he bought him as a centre-back. And he stumbled upon him as a right-back. I like Ben White as a right-back, by the way. But he stumbled upon it because he had to bring Saliba back. He wanted him out. Kept sending him on loan. Didn't want to use him because it wasn't his signing. Zinchenko fell off a cliff. He was terrible for us. That season, if he had played Tierney in the 22-23 season, we would have won the league that year. I'm always convinced of it. He should have subbed him on against Liverpool when it was 2-1 and they started to come back. He should have subbed him on. But I'm getting a bit. The difference is, I think it's shocking that we're sitting here trying to find players that this guy's improved and really struggling to do it. I mean, that's one of the biggest indictments of this manager that's out there, is that no matter how much we spend, he will more than likely make the player worse. So what's the point in signing players if he's with this guy in charge? Like I said, and I'll finish on this. If a new manager came in today, if Arteta got sacked today and a top manager came in, a Hansi Flick or a Mancini or a Conte or something, overnight we have one of the best midfields in the league because we suddenly have Nwaneri and Lewis Skelly as backup for the 8 and the 10. Suddenly we have a fantastic midfield, just like that, and without signing anybody, without signing anybody else, without signing an EZE, without signing anybody like that, we instantly have. If we got Eddie Howe in tomorrow, we instantly have one of the best midfields in the league. But now we're saying we desperately need an EZE and we desperately need this. If we came in, then we'd have Rice and we'd have Zubamendi and we'd have Nwaneri, and he'd probably a new manager would come in and say, like Jezza said, I think take the captaincy off Odegaard. Tell him, right, just settle down. You just concentrate on your football. You might get something out of him. Suddenly we have a great midfield. But with this manager, he's made his mind up now that Lewis Skelly's a left back, and I don't see him ever changing. He's made his mind up that Nwaneri can't be trusted in the 10, and I don't think he'll ever change it. So bringing in a new manager isn't just about getting rid of this guy. It's about cleaning the slate for players that are already there, and getting just a fresh pair of eyes, a fresh voice in the changing room. So yeah, I just it always hits home to me when you're scrabbling around trying to find players that he's improved and coming up empty. Really, I don't know if anybody else can think of anybody past Gabriel. That's it for me. That's it for me. And again, you know, all he did was just take the mistakes out of him.
I hear that, and then put 2 defensive midfielders in front of him as well to help him develop. You know what I mean? That helps. But Carl, I know you got to go, man. Big up, man. Shout out your channel, bro.
Yeah, thank you everyone, mate. Much appreciated. Big up to the panel. Got a live show at 10 o'clock. The Arsenal Anger Management show is back on. Waiting on potential for Aaron to get back to me. Carl Walsh Gunner will be making his debut, and I've got some geezer coming on as well. I don't know if you know him, guys. He's called Lee Gunner. Anybody ever heard of him before? Anybody ever heard of him? No.
No,
okay,
I've heard of him.
They call him negative on TikTok.
Oh, do they really?
know.
Oh, no, he's right on my street.
You don't want him, Carl. He's a wrong one, mate. He's a bit of a wrong one, mate.
He ain't picking you up from Malaga Airport. If that happens. Anyway, on that note, I'm out of here. Big up, guys. Big up, panel. Smash the like button. So make sure you subscribe to everyone on the panel. Absolute legends. Peace out, peace out, lads. Take care.
Take care, mate.
Big up, Carl. Big up, Carl. Big up, Carl, man. Gun Down UK link is in the title, just like everybody else's link. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to everyone that's on the panel. Guys, I'm gonna go on for an hour, so anyone needs to go, you're more than welcome. If you've got things to do, I know how it is.
I can do that for half hour, mate, and I'll go have to bounce, buddy.
No worries. Whenever you need to, put in a private. Shane, if you need to go, or Kenny, if you
I'll
need
be
to
around
go.
for another while. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just gonna go. She's out, so I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's just road to Madrid, man. I can't wait to have a break from this club. I can't wait to have a break from this club, man. I just can't wait to be in Madrid and forget. I was doing some shopping. You know what I mean? I was doing a bit of shopping. I thought, let me treat myself. I don't really buy stuff for myself.
Did Lee speak to you about Madrid?
Yeah, he'd been speaking to me about Madrid. Yeah. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? I don't know. He said multiple things. I don't know. What do you mean?
You might be getting a surprise visitor.
Yeah? You coming to Madrid, yeah?
Might, if I can get the flight.
Come on. Come down, man. We're getting smashed every day.
and some. Yeah, I spoke to him the other night about it. He said we were looking at flights and all that. You know what I'm saying? But I might have to fly to Malaga, and then Lee will pick me up, and then up to Madrid. So yeah, we're looking into it, my friend. We're looking into it.
You're more than welcome. Shane, more than welcome. Kenny, more than welcome. Everybody needs a holiday. There's never too many holidays. I'm telling you, come down. It's gonna be lit, man.
Thing about the holidays is that everyone in my household was going on holiday except for me, on a basis of one, I don't like. I always say to my wife, no holidays during the football season, and we've got a dog, isn't it? So I'm the dog sitter. So they go abroad. So they're going to France this weekend to Euro Disney, and then a few weeks later they're going to Sicily, which they're looking forward to a lot. Can't take dogs on a plane, so once again it's me in it. Although what the situation is that I need someone to look after my dog whilst I go to the first game of the season. I'll find someone.
Them dog sitters, they're expensive, isn't it?
I don't know, mate. I think there's a few people who not. Well, first and foremost, if you can't afford a dog sitter, you've got to find someone who's not scared of dogs, and then secondly, find someone who likes dogs, and someone who's patient. You know what I mean?
No, I hear that, man. I hear that's why. Like, I used to have a Rottweiler, then had to give her away. Female Rottweiler. Yeah. She was really nice. And she was already named when we got her. She was called Tilly. And I'd be like, Tilly. And then they'll see Tilly come around the corner. And then they're like, yeah. And you're shouting Tilly. And they're thinking, oh, no, it's some little
poodle or something's going to come around. Yeah.
A little sausage dog or something come around.
Yeah.
Tilly came around the corner. But Tilly was jokes, man. Anytime I had, like, I was dating this girl, that girl, she was always jealous, though, man. She was always, they'd be like, I don't like it. She growls at me. I'm, nah, she's all right. I never see her growl. She do it on the slide. You know what I mean? But,
some of them do that. Yeah. They keep it on the slide. They know what they're doing.
Hey, I've only got a Yorkie poo. I've got a Yorkie poo. I ain't got none of that, like, you know, those sort of, you know, like I said, guard dogs, weapons. You know what I mean?
That's why I have a Jack Russell and he thinks he's a guard dog.
I had a German Shepherd, right? Can you guess? Can you guess the name? Can you guess the name?
No, not George.
He was beautiful. He was such a beautiful dog.
Is it Charlie?
No, he was a big old boy, but he's a soft bit.
Bertie?
No, it's to do with the club, man.
I know. Bloody hell! He's what's he? Highbury? No.
Nah.
Oh, he's Herbert. Got to be Herbert Chapman. No,
not George. No,
it was Gunner.
Oh, Gunner.
There you go. After Lee, was it?
Yeah.
He was.
You know, like some people. When I used to tell people that was his real name, they wouldn't believe it.
He was a proper dog, man. He was.
They're great dogs.
He was a big old boy, but he was the most softest shit. I swear down, he would not hurt a fly. You know, I used to take him out, right, down the pub, right, in the summertime. All the kids running around the garden, playing, kicking balls about and all that shit. And he'd heard them. He'd heard them all up into a corner, right? And their parents would be shitting themselves, thinking, oh, God. I said, no, he won't hurt them. He is so gentle. And when they parents would say to some little girl, little boy, come on, we've got to go. He wouldn't let him go. And I'd have to go and come on, they've got to go. They've got to go. And you get them right up.
Just, I didn't live too far away from you because you're Highbury and I'm Finsbury Park. If I saw that dog, I'm running. I'm not even going near you. I wouldn't even. If you said to me, "Don't worry, he won't bite you," I wouldn't even take your word for it. I'd just say,
no. Our station's going to be right softy, man.
Because I'm probably still am, but I was so scared of dogs when I was a kid. It was unbelievable because I actually got bitten when I was 5 years old. In bloody Italy, winning 2-0, winning the women's. But I actually got bitten when I was 5 years old in Stragging Road, where I stroked a dog, which we were told to do, and he bit me, and that was it. All bets are off.
That'll do. I hear you. I do get you. But no, he wouldn't hurt nobody, mate. He used to he'd go and stroke him, right? Or give him a biscuit. He'd just roll over and want his tummy tickled. That's how much of a guard dog he was. You know what I'm saying? He'd never bark. Even if you had like a stranger come to the door, he'd just
not even at night. not even at night. Because my dog, she didn't bark until it's nighttime. Then she got ultra protective. That's when she'd be ultra protective.
Not really. No, not really. He would the only thing he used to bark at was lightning and thunder.
Right.
He'd howl. And then, like, if somebody come to the door, right, in the daytime, he'd sit by the front door, wouldn't bark, and then as soon as you open the front door, he'd fuck off. And I'm like, well, you're a good guard dog, aren't you? You're brilliant, you.
And my dog goes ballistic if anyone comes near the house. Absolutely ballistic. Can't get it out of him. Tried to get it out of him, but can't get it out of him. Because we got him from the pound. He was found wandering the streets, like, so we normally take them from the pound. They're a lot harder to train when they've been either mistreated or, you know. But he's a Jack Russell. But Jack Russells are ballsy bastards anyway. They'll go for anything. They'll go for anything, man. They are so protected.
They got a lot of confidence, them ones.
A lot of confidence.
The only thing he didn't like, right, which is I thought this was funny. I used to wind him up, right. if I was sat on the sofa with the missus, right, and I put my arm around her or whatever, he'd jump in between us. He didn't like that.
Yeah.
He was very jealous. He was my boy. You know what I mean?
He was my boy.
It's like the Yorkie poo. The Yorkie poo is like very protective of my wife. If I make a sudden movement or I raise my voice, that's it. I'm the enemy. I'm the enemy immediately.
My lad, when the kids were smaller, if I pick the kids up, if they fell asleep on the couch or something, if ever I pick the kids up, he goes nuts because he thinks I'm trying to hurt them.
Yeah.
So when my kids were smaller, if I picked them up, he go ballistic, absolutely ballistic.
Nah, I only got the dog because back then, I think I was still in college times. I think I was just starting. I was just starting college. At that time, I had too many issues with one or two bad areas. And my mom was like, well, every time you're coming back, your friends go home and then it's just you. And those times there was a lot of people that would get jumped. Those times in the UK, you'd get jumped. You go to the bus stop, and if someone sees you, doesn't matter, they won't do a 1-on-1, it'll be like 5-on-1.
Yeah,
so my mom was like, you need someone to protect you. So that's why we went for a Rottweiler. But because it was me and my two sisters and my mum, just naturally, we never made the dog aggressive, but naturally the dog is protective. Do you know what I mean? So the dog was always friendly until we felt some type of way. And then, or at nighttime, then it would be extremely protective. Like I remember someone went past and they were smoking the trees. Yeah. And she didn't like this. She was like, she just got, I don't know. I never trained her to be like that. She just smelt it. Yeah. And she was just like, and he's like, yo, is it all right? Yeah, it's all right. Is the dog all right? I'm like, yeah, the dog's all right. He was trying to light it because it went out, and then he's looking back and he's lighting it, it's kicking. He ended up falling on his ass on the grass. Yeah? A grown man just slap bang on that. I was like, I told you she's all right. But the way she was looking at him, yeah, he was just shook. I said, I wouldn't have her off the lead if I couldn't control the dog or if she was that type of way. She's just protective. But yeah, I could just control her. Like she'd be off the lead and stuff like that. And it was cool, man. But giving away a dog, because we had to give her away in the end, because everybody was working. My younger sister then started working. She wasn't in college anymore. I started my apprenticeship doing long hours. My mom was working in Central. It just get to a point where nobody had time for the dog, and those dogs would just trash the house. You don't walk them, they'll trash the whole house. The whole house is trashed. And then it just got to the point where we had to give her away, and then I got the blame. And yeah, but Trophies, the rabbit, I don't know if anyone remembers Trophies. She caught an infection. So I went all the way, I can't remember where I drove. I drove like an hour and a half away to get these miniature bunnies that she wanted. They got like miniature ears. I can't even remember what breed it is. But anyway, the breeder, she sold me the rabbit. Within a couple of weeks, the rabbit had some infection, and it was an infection that there's no cure. So they start sneezing, and then their neck starts twisting. And then she started getting like all this like gunk around her eyes and around her nose. And in the end, we had to get her put down. So that's why Trophies isn't. That's why I don't show Trophies anymore, because yeah, Trophies died. She died. I told the breeder, I said, you can't be selling pets like that. It's horrible, But obviously, whatever she's breeded with, they've got it, and you couldn't resolve it. But I like rabbits because of what Kenny's going through. Yeah, I can leave my rabbit with my mum and say, okay, you got the rabbit, cool, I'm off on holiday. Leaving a dog, it's different. You got to walk it, you got to do this, you got to do that, and not a lot of people want to deal with a dog in it.
Right, I love my dog. He was, sadly, at the age of 8, we were out for day out, and we were doing about 4 or 5 mile walk, and I don't know what happened, but that night came back, fed him, wasn't interested in his food, and I thought that's a bit odd. It'd be gone in 30 seconds. And I thought, okay, and he just wanted to lie down on his basket and not do anything. And like next morning, hadn't touched his food, wasn't doing anything. Took him to the vet, and basically at some point he twisted his stomach, and basically there's nothing they could do. So sadly, we had to have him put down. Broke my heart, that did. He's a beautiful boy. He was so friendly, He looked horrible. Like, no, I don't mean horrible, but he looked aggressive. You look at him and you think, fuck, he's going to rip my head off. I know he wouldn't. But yeah, that was got to be 12 years ago now. But never got another one. Couldn't do it. So
there's nothing like a pet, man. There's nothing like a pet. Like honestly, like the way even when you're down and they're always happy to see you. They're always trying to cheer you up. They always like I don't know. It just becomes like almost like a person. It almost becomes like family, but like almost like a person. You can read their mood. You can read what they want to do. You can read when they're up. Do you know what I mean? You can just read them and they can read you and they just do certain things. And even when they misbehave a little bit and they come round and they're always trying to look for your approval. And yeah, it's nothing like a. There's nothing like
I should take them to work.
Is it? You take it to work?
Yeah, I should take like when I was actually, I'd go out on a job. I'd take him with me, and he'd come out in the van, or if it was hot, I'd just let him have the door open, and I'd say to the customer, "Look, you know, he's all right. He's not going to hurt anybody." And people would say, "Yeah, that's fine. That's all right." Or if I was in the office, he'd come to the office with me every day, every single day. He'd just come and sit on the floor, right, and he'd get spoilt rotten by the girls in the office. And yeah, they were a fucking nightmare. Actually, they used to come in like I said, no, don't give him that, and they go, oh no, he wants that, you know. And I was like, no, don't do it. And pork scratchings, you give him a packet of pork scratchings, right? I used to just throw them on the floor, and he'd open them. He'd put his paw. No, seriously, he'd put his paw on them, get his teeth, rip it open, and they'd be gone in 30 seconds. Gone. Lot.
Big up.
Hey, Norski. Hey, how you doing?
I'm listening. I've just broke into your house.
What's in the fridge?
Oh, mate, listen. I love that piano. I tell you, lovely.
You've got one yourself, innit?
Is it in tune?
Yeah, no, I've just bought a property just nearby Kenny Ken. So apparently the duplicate thing. So that's what I've gone for, mate. I just want to be in the same house as Kenny.
Decorated the exact same. I mean, just so you want to be like him so much.
Well, listen,
like Arteta and Pep, you're just trying to do everything.
Where have I been? No, I had a stream in it earlier on, and I heard you guys talking about pet dogs and stuff like that. So we're going to win something.
Yeah, win the dog.
Good one.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It feels like a nice chilled evening. You know what I mean? It feels quite chilled right now in the house of Northside. What we're saying is this Gokras deal over the line yet, or what? Is it PTSD still?
It'll happen.
Do you know what? Like, even if we get him, it's like great, but it's still not enough. And I know a lot of the fan base don't want to hear that because they've convinced themselves that one striker and we're fixed. And it's like, these are the same people that continue to tell us that it's 10 out of 10 windows and then keep telling us that we have a bench that we need to get rid of. It's like, we are happy. Yeah. We are happy with Gokras coming to the club, but we've seen half-baked squads before. This is what I said a couple of streams ago. We've seen this squad have Aubameyang and nothing else. I remember when our squad was absolutely rubbish. I mean, all we had was Aubameyang. And literally nobody really else around him. And we didn't complete the squad, ended up getting rid of him. I remember when we had Adebayor, Haleb, Rosicky, Podolski. Like we've seen half-baked squads before. We've seen Ozil and Sanchez. Like we've seen it. We've seen Fabregas, injury after injury, still playing with injury, taking injections and trying to hold the team together. Asking Wenger, what are we going to do? We've seen half-baked squads. So when we look at the squad and we say, all right, well, Liverpool are getting, okay, it looks like they want Rodrigo. They're trying to go in for Isak. They got Wirtz. They got Mo Salah. You know what I'm saying? They got Gravenberch. They got McAllister. Do you know what I mean? They got Frimpong, all these players. We're like, yo, we've seen this before. We've seen us going into a season where there's clear holes in the squad and people say, no, we've got enough. And the thing is, it's always if. If Zubimendi does this, if we don't have to rely on Kepa, if we don't need to use Norgard and we only use him in the cups, if this, if that, well, if some maybes, if Saka didn't get injured last season, we told you that Saka could get injured last season. This fan base always want to sell you on the best scenario and never prepare or ask the club to be prepared for the worst case scenario. We are never prepared for the worst case scenario. We was not prepared last season for any other centre back to step in if we get any injuries to our centre backs. We weren't prepared for Saka to get injured. Sterling was not an adequate backup to Saka in any form. We are never prepared. We wasn't prepared for Jesus to get re-injured and then us to rely on Havertz to the point where he then got injured out of fatigue to then rely on Moretti. We're never prepared. It's always like, oh, if we have these players on side, if the referees make the right decisions. Well, referees get decisions wrong. Even the best of them get decisions wrong. So what are we going to do? You know, what are we going to do? I just...
And I mean, there's also the blame, you know, the injury blame thing. But as Shane said earlier on his show today, it's all down to the manager, the way he runs these guys into the ground. You know, they keep complaining about injuries and whatnot. It's the manager. It's the way, it's a style of football. And as I say, we're going into this new season where off the back of, we got like 6, players that had serious injuries and may not last because of the amount of games. Do you know what I mean? So we have to look at the big picture. I think everybody's gassing up, Gokwes coming in. He can't solve the problem. He can't solve the problem. Not only that, we've got to be looking at creativity. The way we play is not conducive to the way Gokwes plays. So Arteta has to make sure that he puts his tactics or builds his tactics around Gokwes. And it's whether he will do it or not. And I keep going back to the season 22-23 season where you saw what's his name doing well in terms of his creativity, Odegaard. We need that Odegaard back in terms of creativity and stuff like that. But the last 2 seasons, he just hasn't been on it. He's been off the boil, and yet he refuses to bring Ethan in. And you saw how Ethan was treated the last season, towards the end of the last season. I'm surprised he stuck around, but it looks like he's on the verge of signing a new deal. So we'll see where we go with that. But yeah, we haven't built a midfield. I don't think. Well, not I do think, shall I say, that's going to compete with the likes of Man City's, Liverpool's, even Newcastle's, Chelsea. You know what I mean? Because I said, if one of those guys gets injured, if Rice gets injured, if Zubimendi gets injured, then you look at what we got coming on off the bench. Moreno, you know what I mean? Norgard. These are just stock. These are just fillers. They haven't come in and changed or upgraded the position. The only position that's been upgraded is the Gokwes, and he can't do it by himself.
Anyway, I've got to bounce. Sorry, I've got to go. Dinner's ready.
No worries. Shut your channel, bro. I know Shane's got to go as well. Shut your channel, Shane. Shut your channel. Kenny, if you need to go as well, no problem. Because I'm gonna keep going until 10. So anyone needs to go. Yeah, Kenny, you're mute, bro. You're mute. You're mute. You're mute, Kenny.
I've got dinner coming in about 12 minutes as well. But the thing is, I'm worried about Norski getting the bad habits without me.
Yeah. What are you talking about? What?
He's staying for dinner.
No, not at all. I'm talking about he's copied he's been in my ass again.
All right, look.
Right, boys.
Yeah, take care, Jess, bro.
Take care, people. And have a great show, and I'll catch you another day. Love you all. Take care.
Big up, bro. Big up. Shane, I know you got to go as well, mate. Shout out your channel, bro.
You're mute. Is your mute as well?
I think he's muted, but I think it's unplugged. I think.
There you go.
It doesn't-
Sorry, my bad. Yeah. No, thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. The missus is on her way back from Dublin, so I have to go prepare a late dinner for her, and then I'm going to go watch the rest of my Italy winning the 2006 documentary. It's absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, no, listen, be back for the full Irish tomorrow morning, of course, at 10:30 every morning, and then the Bruised Banana panel show will be tomorrow night at 8:30. Always a stacked panel, always a lot of fun. But listen, thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure to share a screen with Jezza, with Kenny, with Normsky. Sorry I couldn't stay a bit longer, Norms, and yourself, Northside, of course, and the absolutely fantastic chat. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you again.
I won't lie though, that Italy side in 2006 that Shane was talking about, I didn't have them winning that title. I actually had Germany winning that. You know that.
I mean,
Roman advantage.
Yeah.
So for Italy to come behind and just quietly win that World Cup, big them up, mate.
Yeah.
True. To see
those World
Cups
now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But them World Cups were back in the day. It's a lot different to the World Cups that we're watching now. It's just something about it. You always look forward to it. You know, you drive around cars. You know, all different nationalities with all their flags hanging out, and it's a lot different now compared to back then.
Yeah, I think social media is kind of taking over. And I think
the
last World Cup being in the winter, it was a World Cup, but it didn't feel like it because it's not in the sort of traditional time. But I think the one in America, that's going to be called like very well. The best World Cup goal, Kawaja, Diego Maradona against England.
Yep. Absolutely.
Listen, I can't lie though, guys. Yeah, you guys feel like that, yeah, and I agree in terms of the technical ability. But this era has been the most successful for my nation, yeah. And the reason, and this is the thing, yeah. When I say Portugal, people just say Portugal. Nuno Mendes, yeah. Nuno Mendes is Cape Verdean. Nani, Cape Verdean. So Portugal doesn't just represent Portugal; it represents the Portuguese Africans as well, because the best players play Ezebiel. He's from Mozambique. You know what I'm saying? So all of the Portuguese-speaking Africans, the best players, they play. Do you know what I mean? William Carvalho as well. He's Angolan, like my mum. Do you know what I mean?
You know how long we were going for that, brother. You know how long we were linked to that guy.
Do you get me? So when I celebrate Portugal, yeah, my other fellow countrymen that are like me, mixed in both, it's like we all win in it, because it's almost like, do you know what it's like? It's almost like England and Jamaica. Like England's always had great Caribbean players, and for the British Caribbean, it's like, okay, like, England's success is alongside the Caribbean. The Caribbean's been here. The Caribbean community has been here the longest out of all of us. Then the Africans came. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Nigerians came before us, obviously fellow English speaking, part of the Commonwealth and everything. And then people like my mum came in the late 80s. My mum came in like 87. Then the Portuguese started coming around and stuff like that. So it's like the Caribbean, like England's success is big win for the Caribbean as well, because they always had Caribbean players, Sol Campbell's and players like that. You know what I mean? Ian Wrights and players like that. So it's a big representation for the Caribbean.
What? Can you remember, Kenny? What was it when Terry Venables? What were they almost like it was almost all blacks in that team?
In the England side,
yeah. Was it that, or am I thinking of Crystal Palace? I can't remember if it's.
No, there was an Arsenal side, Crystal Palace side in the 80s. I think in the 80s, late 80s, on the Steve Coppell had Andy Gray, Mark Bright, they had Ian Wright, of course, those two going, and obviously they had. I don't know if they won more, but I think in the 80s, especially in the 80s, that's when there was a massive representation of black players, especially in the London clubs.
Definitely,
QPR had big representation. Wimbledon, who were London. Spurs, not so much, but West Ham not so much, but definitely Arsenal, QPR, Wimbledon, and Chelsea had players like Paul Cannonville, and then they had players like Ken Macau, and then it kind of took over. But the pioneers was always like Crystal Palace, because it's the area, isn't it? South London, Crystal Palace always got the best players around South London, and a lot of them were athletes as well, and who were good skillful, quick, and it hasn't changed. You look at Crystal Palace's youth setup.
Yeah,
they've got the best boys in like South London. Millwall don't get them. Millwall and Charlton tend to compete with West Ham around the East London area for their players, whilst Crystal Palace, South London. If you're like a young player, Afro Caribbean, Crystal Palace is the place to be.
Yeah,
Vince Hilaire, believe it or not, Vince Hilaire playing the 80s. Vince Hilaire was actually from Upton Parksides. West Ham, he used to watch West Ham home and away, but Crystal Palace had team to come in for him.
Yeah. They had a few, mate. You know what I mean? But then you also got the 3 degrees as well. Was it the 3 degrees?
Yeah, that was West Brom.
Yeah,
Atkinson, Ron Atkinson.
Yeah. Laurie Cunningham. You know what I mean?
That's
they did
right,
a documentary on them. Yeah.
This is what I'm saying, man. So, like, obviously, like, I never thought I'd see Portugal win anything, and to see them win multiple trophies. That's why when people are like, the Nations League, it means nothing. It does to a nation that's never won, isn't historically winners. It means something. When you win it,
absolutely.
You take that.
Yeah, I mean, we should. That's what I'm trying to say. I think we shouldn't be picky about what competitions we're going to and downgrade cups and stuff like that. As I say, we get that, with the old Arsenal when it comes to the Carabao Cup, we're downgrading it. I just think we just need to win something. Just get the winning mentality back in us, man, because it's like, and I'm quite sure if we did go far in that Carabao Cup and didn't ended up at Wembley and winning it, I'm sure those people that have been knocking it would have been there down at Wembley cheering away.
100% they'll be there because you only have to look at the last Carabao Cup, the League Cup final in 2018. All the big hitters, all the main influencers were there. They were. I saw them all, and that's the thing. Look, initially, when you're a big club manager, and you've got and the fans, initially, your bucket list and your sort of like in-tray isn't the League Cup, and not so much the FA Cup. It's always the Champions League or the league. But I always say, the big clubs tend to win win the FA Cup and the League Cup. They always put their best team. Let's not forget, Crystal Palace beat big Man City in the final. Wigan beat big Man City, and if you take away those two clubs, before Crystal Palace and Wigan won the FA Cup, before that it was Portsmouth. After it, the roll call has always been the big teams, or what we call the big teams. You know what I mean?
Now that documentary, I don't know if you guys seen it, of Crystal Palace when Eagles there. That's a good documentary, bro. Seeing Balassi and Zaha just balling out. Yeah. Bro, I used to love Balassi, bro. He's a baller, man. I used to like watching him and Zaha when they played together, bro. They played well, man. Good documentary.
They had Tony Pulis for one season as their manager, and then Tony Pulis, I think, was just bizarre. He had a lot of pace, and then Alan Pardew took it over. But Khawaja Jalil, it's going to be the European Championships in 28 is held in the UK. We're not sure about Northern Ireland because they haven't built their stadium yet. So at the moment, it's still the UK, but Ireland need to get a move on, or they're going to miss out. But I will say that England have to win if they don't win the World Cup next year, they have to win the European Championships on the basis that the players are there now, and they've got young players who've won tournament football. There's no excuses.
Yeah. Do you think they'll do it with Thomas? Do you think they'll do it with Thomas? Do you think he can take them all the way?
I think Thomas will be there for Euro 2028 because I think he'll be there for the World Cup, and then he's going to want to go back to club management. So I think they'll go back to Lee Carsley. And he's got the conveyor belt with young players and the players still, where if he can get a number 6, then there's no reason why England can't win the Euro 2028. They're definitely going to get to the final because England always find a way, don't they? Or maybe
who always get the easy draws. Who's get the easy draws? But this too. It's always like flipping Luxembourg and flipping. You know what I mean?
And that's fun. But even, don't get me wrong. In Euro 2020 and Euro 2024, they kind of like crawled towards the final, and I say crawled, but the fact is, it's not there. until they play something decent. England need to find a way to beat Spain, beat France, beat a top Italy side, and especially by 2028. The World Cup, they need to use the World Cup to try and win that World Cup and use it as a springboard for Euro 2028.
I don't know, man. I don't know, Kenny, man. I don't know, man. Do you know,
Don't get me wrong. Portugal's strong. Portugal should be strong. Cristiano Ronaldo probably playing it probably his last tournament, but I do think that this is England's time. With the players England have got, they shouldn't be shadow boxing and be looking at France, Portugal, Spain, and Argentina, and think, you know what, we can't beat them. Let's just give them a game. Get out that mentality.
I'm going to think it just boils down to a mentality thing, man. That's the thing with England. I don't know if it's a mentality thing. You're that close.
Kawaja. If Tuchel wins the World Cup, should get a statue. Doesn't matter if he's German. Should get it.
Yeah, definitely.
Facts.
And we get a week's holiday off as well. While they're at it.
The UK will be crazy, bro. It'll be absolutely crazy, bro.
Oh no, England was shut down. England was shut down. England
shut down. Good vibes for a whole week. like foreigners come to England and say English people, like British people, are very like standoffish. Yeah, ain't gonna be standoffish that week. No,
you're gonna know about it. You're gonna know about it, man.
Oh, people who hate football will still want that week's holiday, won't they?
Exactly.
I know a lot of people, and I'm sure you know people as well. They don't like football, but when the Euros are on and the World Cup's on, they watch football, but they don't like football. And I say, why do you watch it then? Because England are playing, and then everyone's getting.
Well, everybody's talking. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's talking about it, isn't it? So you can't not miss it. So everybody's like, well, it's done it. Yeah.
They won't watch the bread and butter Premier League. They hate football, but they I suppose it's for a nationalist thing. But yeah, if England do win the World Cup or even win the Euro 2028, it's on. This country's going to be like, it's going to explode. Especially with social media now.
My dad, God rest his soul. I remember go back. So I would have been in my early 20s. And I remember going out to play football. I was playing a Saturday league, and he loves cricket. He can't stand football. He loves cricket. So I've gone to this game here. Ended up coming home with on crutches. Yeah, because what happened? I went in for a tackle. After everything feels away because of the adrenaline and everything, and then all of a sudden your ankle starts to just balloon up. Right. So anyway, I've come home, and he looked me up and down, right? He'd like to say, I told you. What did I tell you? And he says, in Jamaica, he goes, I don't understand how 22 men are going around kicking a bugger beer.
That's what we say about cricket.
Right, you know what I mean? It's like, I thought, you know what?
Did you go to games, Monsky? Like growing up, I know Kenny. I know that you go games.
I've been to games, but not. And I'll tell you this. I'll go back. Growing up, because my dad, because we come from a strong Christian background. So my like when I was like into athletics, yeah. So one of the things was I wanted to do like athletics, and they wanted to run on a Sunday. My dad wasn't having it. He goes, no, you find yourself in church. You find yourself in church. So I would train like from Monday through to Saturday, but the meetings, the athletic meets sometimes used to be on a Sunday and stuff like that. And then like with the football and stuff like that, because obviously Sunday games, I was in Sunday school, not down the fees. As you get older, that's when I started going games. I'm a big man now, innit? Got my own house and everything there. Can't say nothing to me, or I wish. But yeah, so I mean, the games that I've not been to the sort of amount of games as Kenny and Jez and stuff like that. So a lot of my time was spent watching it on TV. But I always sort of go back to my sort of experience with Arsenal and watching them play. It's funny enough because my missus is Liverpool, right? And when we beat them in that 71, when we did the double, I was watching it like as a kid, and I just remember them in the blue, yellow with the blue thing, and you just get kind of fascinated. And I thought, I like that team. And then when they beat them, it was 2-1, I think it was. I just remember Emily was crying his eyes out. So that always lived with me. Do you know what I mean? It always lived with me. And then obviously when you're in school, like when you're in school, you still stand right. Yeah. So, and then funny enough, my missus around about that time, and I remember we've never met. We met in '86, right? And she's a couple of years older than me, so like whatever. So she took over Liverpool in that same. So she was watching it, and that's when she started supporting Liverpool. And then obviously fate brought us together in '86, and I tried to convert her, but she wasn't having it. No.
I think what's happening, if you're a grown adult, you shouldn't really be switching football clubs. But I think what it is that I was just lucky that I had people to go with, and I had people to take me, because like my mum used to take me when I was an absolute nipper. So that's when I first started going to Arsenal. And then when I was 8, I started going, and then when I was about 10 or 11, I went on my own. But and there's one guy who I don't get with me anymore. He's a Spurs fan. He doesn't understand that back in the 80s, it was possible for someone who looked like me to go football, because you couldn't go. I said, did you go football? He said, no. I said, well, that's a stereotype. So why are you stereotyping us? Where we grew up in Finsbury Park, and what it was is that we were in a sort of area, in an estate where it wasn't like predominant. It was just everyone was there. You had Greek Cypriots, you had Irish, very few, and you had West Indians, a few Africans, and you had obviously Cockneys. And it was a case where we were just all one. And when it came to football, we were all one. So there was none of this sort of silliness that you saw. You probably would have saw at Chelsea, and you definitely might have seen it at Millwall, but you wouldn't have seen it at Arsenal, because it was a case where for 90 minutes, when we went in the match, all these political stuff and all these sort of like situation were all Arsenal. So that's why it was always safe for people to go. And that's why when someone like Robbie says that he wasn't allowed to go because of and I suppose, you know what? I suppose he just looked at the menu and he just followed the stereotype. But he didn't go Arsenal, because it wouldn't happen at Arsenal. And that's why a lot of Arsenal fans pushed back, and they had all the pictures of the fans of and all of us sort of saying, look at us. This is us in the 80s with sort of like our Lacoste and all that. Where is he look afraid? And I think that's why a lot of people got really angry with him and pushed back on it, because they saw it as a lazy attempt to talk about what it was like going for black fans in the 80s. And
right. So you're talking about when he did that documentary.
Yeah, then he did that documentary.
Yeah.
It was a lazy attempt. For a start, he made the mistake of interviewing Carl. What's his name? Kaz Pennant, because their situation in Arsenal West Ham, because of the Arsenal fan who got attacked and stabbed to death. And Kaz Pennant always puts in his book how he boasted about it virtually. So that was another mistake. But I think where Arsenal fans pushed back was where you're thinking, hang on here, we know Denton. Obviously, I shouldn't really mention his name, but we know all these other guys who used to go to games. I'm from Finsbury Park, and there used to be a group of Arsenal fans, black and white, who used to meet up in the Moray, meet up in the Duke of Edinburgh, and go to the game. And they were, I'll leave you to think out the banks, but they were, part of, so they pushed back as well. So, but there was a general stereotype where they didn't experience it, but because there was a stereotype that what they heard about what players used to get, they generally thought, right, it's not really safe for us, so we're not going to go. We're going to do our own things. And I get that. I really understand it. But for people to say, that's what happened at Arsenal, it's complete garbage. Wasn't like that at Arsenal.
Yeah. So I'm South East, so obviously, do you know what I mean? Somebody I should have supported Charlton. Yeah. Get out of it.
That's like my stepdad, bro. Like he was Chelsea. He was Chelsea, so he named my sister Chelsea. So my younger sister, she's only 2 years younger than me. I say younger sister, but she's only 2 years younger.
Yeah.
So he named her Chelsea, and obviously she don't care about football. She just goes, well, they got my name in it, and it's spelled the same way. So yeah, that's who I support in it. So whatever, she don't care. You know what I mean? But she was just there to take the piss out of me every time Chelsea won a trophy. And then
that was a lot. That was a lot.
He then swapped to Arsenal. Yeah, he swapped to Arsenal. Yeah, because and I said to him, "Why did you swap? You was a Chelsea fan." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I didn't like going to the games. He would go to the games, and he was like, I don't like the way he was treated. He didn't like the way he was treated by the Chelsea fans at that time period. So then he goes, "Nah, f that. I'm going to Arsenal," and he just stuck to Arsenal. He'd be like, "I'm having enough."
Hey, no side. Dinner's ready. I'm gonna have to bounce. I'm
nah, big up, Kenny, man.
Speak to you guys later. Thanks for having me on.
No problems, mate, Ken. Sorry for coming to your house, mate. I apologise.
Okay, I'll bolt the door next time.
Yeah, take it easy, bro. Take it easy, bro. Take it easy.
Big up,
yeah,
Kenny,
man. Yeah.
Big up, man.
No, but it's interesting. Yeah. It's funny because obviously when you sort of like, so I know somebody's name is so the first thing I asked her, her name's Chelsea as well. So I said to her, it'd be funny. I said, "Do you support Chelsea?" She goes, "Yeah." So it must be that her dad probably supported her and they just named her that. So a lot of people that's got those named Chelsea, they tend to support the team that they're named after. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, it's interesting. As you said, with the players that especially like John Barnes, what he went through. Do you know what I mean? In playing in the 80s and stuff like that, being coming from Jamaica, playing for Watford, and then experiencing racism. It was tough. And even like there was a documentary I watched on him when I think it was when he played at Everton and they wouldn't allow him in the players' lounge. Like there's like man of color, what are you doing in here? You know what I mean? It's like so they had it tough, man. You know what I mean? They had it tough.
But your generation had some tough characters.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Because like the guy, I did my apprenticeship, with a guy that's Jamaican, Jamaican, but he was born here. His parents, obviously, his parents are Jamaican, but he's born here. Yeah, both Jamaican, both parents.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's like my mum's age. Like my mum's pushing 60. My mum was born in 66.
I'm 67. I'm a 67 baby.
Cool. So it's the same generation, yeah. But obviously he's Jamaican. Obviously my mom's not Jamaican, but he's Jamaican. And he was telling me, him and the other guy that we used to work with, he was a Bayesian guy called Richard, and they would tell me, how it would be like in the 80s going to like a dancehall rave or like a reggae rave, innit? Like a reggae rave, the sound system and everything.
Yeah, they call it blues. They call it blues.
Yeah, bro. He was telling me, that like in the 80s, you go to a bashment place, some man had like a mini axe in that.
Yeah.
Like certain things, if it popped off, certain people pop off, like with a fight, they had a mini axe in that. Like it could get real serious. You see guys come up with a switchblade because some of these guys were coming from yard. Yeah. Some of these guys are coming.
I mean, I didn't sort of, but I heard certain things that
those kind of men might have gone football as well, and these man was.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear that, bro. You know,
you ain't gonna talk reckless to a guy with an axe, you know.
No, you don't, But I mean, back then, I mean, I remember that this was probably early 80s, and I was sitting in a car with my mate. It was a big, I can't even remember the name of the car. It's some estate. It's a brown. I remember the car being a brown estate, and we was like early 80s, so would have probably been at 16, 17. And we were sitting in the car, and this old Bill rolls up next to her, all right? And I won't say the word, but they rolled down the window and they looked across and said, "What's a loader in there doing? What's a loader doing in the cars?" Like that was just the norm, bro. You know what I mean? My man was ready to fight. My mate was saying, "Oh, just leave it." But it's the way they rolled up. Round down their windows, because back then they didn't have the electric windows. It was and they looked across. I couldn't believe it. We're standing there like, what? Did they just say that? Like, and then they just drove off. So yeah, there's a level of intimidation and stuff like that, and you know, but you had to be thick skinned, even like in school and stuff like that, because you had like the skinheads, the mods. Do you know what I mean? And we used to call ourselves the soul heads. You know what I mean? Like, but put it this way, in our school, right? We was the minority, yeah, but we run things, yeah. So even though we was the minority, we run things in there. So you used to have a group of skinheads down one end. There's a load of them, like with, you know, big green jackets and big old laced up boots and whatever. And then you had the mods. Do you know what I mean? And we used to come in and literally, you know, you could tell because they all be in one corner. And we used to go, right, well, if we running things, yeah, we're just going to walk into their territory. we just bowl up, walk through the territory, you know. Because it basically, at the end of the day, you don't walk down there. You don't even see yourself. We just walk down there. Yo, move, get out of the way. And it was a minority of us, and I'll say a small minority, but you had to just stand up, be strong, and that's what it was growing up. You know, growing up in the 80s. You know what I mean? The 70s. You know what I mean? As a little baby and whatever. But in the 80s, I went secondary school. What was it? 82, 81, something like that. 82, 81.
82.
So, yeah, 82, 81, something like that. Yeah, I was 11, 12. Yeah, start second school then. So it was different back then, mate. It is different back then, you know what I mean? But
as a 90s baby, I'll tell you, 82. I was born in 92.
Right.
Ain't much change in the 90s, bro.
No.
Yeah.
The
90s was still very, that kind of mentality was still very prevalent because those were the parents of the kids of my generation.
Yeah.
So it's like the kids are now seeing like, okay, things has kind of changed, but those older heads that felt like that were still trying to run with that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even the teachers were coming with that mentality as well, because they weren't just the parents, because some of these people were then becoming were teachers.
Yeah, exactly. And they still had that.
And you know what it is? Yeah, it's like having a parent, that is foreign, that doesn't understand because she's from a different language, a different community.
Yeah.
It's like my mom understood it, that white Portuguese version, but English, she didn't understand it. Because them times she weren't getting it. Like, you get me, like the offensive stuff or the condescending stuff or she weren't getting it. It would fly over her head because language barrier, innit?
Yeah.
But then with time, she understood, because then she looked at me like I was the wild child. Like, he's just. And I'm like, no, I'm fighting for my rights. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, he deserved the beating. It took later on in life, I think it was like the early 2000s, like just before the 2010s, my mom started understanding. Oh, they do the same stuff here that they were doing in because she was facing that Portuguese version.
Yeah,
you get me?
Yeah.
But the Portuguese version, you don't have the law that will defend you in it. It's kind of like they say what they say, and there's no. Do you know what I mean? Even till now, it can be.
Is there that kind of like divide of like class and all that? Is there like that kind of? Because I know in Portugal they were saying that if you're of a certain race, even though you're Portuguese, because I remember you doing. This is maybe going back a couple of years when you was talking about your culture, and was sort of saying like, you know, because obviously you got the white Portuguese and then you got that. So is there the apparent thing that the big R, I won't say the word, but you know, I'm sort of going with that.
Yeah. No, it was definitely that. Like, it was like, how can I say it? You know, like the Windrush era here. My mum was part of that for Portugal. Yeah, basically for Portugal.
Yeah, right.
So my mum was the Portuguese equivalent of the Windrush era.
Yeah. Because my parents came over in the 60s, early 60s.
Yeah. So my mum was part of that because of war, civil war, like of independence in Angola. So then they kind of made like favela levels around Lisbon, but now they got rid of them and they built because the thing is, like, when you see a favela is in a hill, innit?
Yeah.
But then eventually the rich people want to be up in the hills, innit? So then they destroy the whole favela. It's like, yo, you lot actually got a sick view, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? So like my mum's area where she grew up here is unrecognizable because they tore it all down and put like luxury apartments and stuff like that.
Up there. Right.
But she told me, like, I saw pictures. It's basically, you'd think it was Brazil. It was just a favela. And it was like, a lot of the people, I don't know if this happened with the Caribbeans here, but a lot of the people there in Portugal, like the Africans, like, a lot of them work construction. So they'd work construction, but then they'd be like, cool, 1 month, you ain't getting paid. You may not even get paid for 2 months. And then you'll get paid on the 3rd month.
Right.
Yeah, they'll do things like that. And then they'll be like, do you know what I mean? But obviously, the ones that have like Portuguese blood, because you have Portuguese nationality, they kind of couldn't F with you like that. But like for my dad, that's Cape Verdean, they'll be like, well, you're not from here. Like, you know what I mean? You got Cape Verdean passport, like, so they'll take advantage of that. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was that kind of upbringing. And it was like, even till now, like, if I go up against a white Portuguese person in Portugal for a job, doesn't matter if I'm more qualified, more times than not, they'll just give it to him just because.
It
still has that type of nonsense going on.
Yeah, so it's sort of institutionalized and it's sort of there. Do you know what I mean? And
But
sometimes it's not even, they don't even actually realize they're doing it. You know what I mean? And then you get that old privilege thing in it. You sort of.
They don't care over there in Portugal. They don't care about your feet. They don't really care. This is the thing, yeah. It's like, do you know what joins us? Yeah, is those Portuguese people. They don't have musical culture. They don't have an identity when it comes to music. Yeah. So what happens is they want to go to the club. Well, who runs the clubs? The blacks. Who's got the music and the dancing? The blacks. So then you have like white European Portuguese girls. They want to dance kizomba or they want to dance tarashinha. That's kind of like tarashinha is kind of like how Jamaicans dance bashment, but it's to the front. So it's a one grind, but it's to the front. Yeah, but that's the thing. And then they started to adapt our lingo. So we've got like a Creole. We've got like a Portuguese Creole. They started adopting that. It becomes so popular that they started, you know, like you see, like, I don't know, like Jamaicans, like certain patois has gone into the English language where some people use it that are not even Jamaican.
Yeah, you hear it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, even you know, even during content creating now, you know, if say big up man, what I say, yeah, you know, and now people are latching onto that. It's almost like a cool thing. It was actually quite funny because because you know, like street culture, because of the way we speak in London, you know, that you got that street, they called it street, that kind of I don't know. I remember when the riots were going on and they interviewed some guy, I don't know if he was an MP or what, but he essentially said the reason because of the riots is because they've adopted a black culture. Like, because if I know white guys, if I close my eyes, I would think they're black, but it's not actually. It's street. They call it. I don't know the actual term.
Slang.
It's literally slang, street slang. So you could be white, black. I'll be Chinese. I was talking to a brother Chinese, and if I close my eyes, I would have thought he was typical one of them typical London man. Understand? It's just the way it is. So it's the street culture and stuff like that. And so so they pick up little bits of the lingo and stuff like that. But like when I was when I was in Jamaica, and I jumped onto your show when I was out there, and like certain parts of Jamaica, boy, I tell you, man, when you got to listen carefully because when they start to bust the patois. Yeah, and because I'm British, so I've got Jamaican parents, but I was born here. And what happens is you might do this as well. So if I'm with my mates, like workmates, all right, geez, all right, doing, all right, mate, all right, it's all one of those. It's one of, I mean, like my missus sometimes, like I'll be on the phone and she knows who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to a black brother, I'll be yeah, and give it all that. And then if I'm talking to a white boy, I'm a white guy, should I say? I'm like, yeah, mate, yeah, gays. What gays? You know what I mean? I'm typical, like, give it large, like, you know what I mean? And sometimes I remember, like, I work for a telephone company. I won't say who, so I'll ring ahead and say, "Oh no, it's a British. What's your name here? Come to do your line." I'm talking like this, and then they open the door, and then when I knock the door, they go, like, you can see. Hang on, you the engineer that just phoned me? Yeah. Okay. But it's just what it is. It is what it is, man. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is.
That's just how everyone's experience is. Yeah, man. It's just it's more similar than people know. I just think everyone's within their own bubble, innit? And like now, like my mom kind of she won't really tolerate no nonsense. But man, it's just I don't know even within my generation, seeing how much the UK's changed, because back then, if you're in certain like I had a lot of family that was in Halsden. I never felt it in Halsden at all. All of that energy I didn't feel in Halsden because they couldn't be like that. You know what I'm saying? Because do you know what I mean? When I had friends in like Brixton, they couldn't be like that because it's Brixton. Do you know what I mean?
Brixton, yeah.
You know what I mean? When I was in Stonebridge, I never felt like that. But then when I was in other areas that I won't name, it's like then you saw that in the 90s. You saw the energy, like it was a type of way, like do you know what I mean? But now it's like it's just different. Like everyone's just together. Being together. It's like it's just
and even like I mean, like if you think about even like the music scene, because Afrobeat, that is just pretty much taken over. You know what I mean? Because it literally everybody loves it. You know what I mean? That group, I love them. Ezra Collective. They were at, they did the Glastonbury Festival, mate, and they had that crowd. The crowd was predominantly white, but they had that crowd rocking. You know what I mean? And these man, they started like playing together in youth clubs. Yeah, and the drummer, he's an Arsenal supporter, so he did the what's the name for Zubimendi? You know when they did the opening, what you call the reveal of Zubimendi, and he was on the drums and he's talking about every rhythm and blah blah blah. So that drummer is a drummer for Ezra Collective, bad boy drummer. And so I play drums myself. So
that's the thing. I was from the generation, where and this is and everyone already knows I'm African and I'm proud. Yeah, I'm actually more proud to be African than I am Portuguese. People might get twisted because it's football, but outside of football, I'm actually more proud of my African. Not saying I'm not proud of my Portuguese heritage because I am part Portuguese by blood. Yeah, I'm not saying that, but I connect more, I identify more as Angolan and Cape Verdean because of the culture. Yeah, I mean, and people that don't know the culture won't understand what I'm saying. But when I go out, when I say I'm going to the Portuguese, it actually ain't Portuguese. It's African Portuguese, bro. It's from Angola and Cape Verde. You know what I'm saying? When I'm talking about the music, it's got nothing to do with Portuguese. It's just sung in Portuguese. It's kind of like Jamaican music. Yeah, it might be in patois English, but it is Jamaican. It's Caribbean. It's not English. You know what I'm saying? And that's the equivalent that I'm from, innit? But what I'm saying is, when I first started going out, the most popular music was hip hop and bashment of my era. The Caribbean people of my era weren't listening. They were listening to Lovers Rock and all of that with their parents.
Lovers Rock.
When we was going to the club, I'm sorry, when we was going to the club, it was Vibes Cartel. It was Movado. it was all of that. I remember because the guy, that I'm not gonna say his name because I know he likes to stay low key, but you know what I'm saying, let's just call him Beresford. Yeah, because that's not his name. You know what I'm saying? He's fully Jamaican. He's like, yo, why'd you like this rude music? I'm like, nah, bro. This is new Vibes Cartel, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? He's like, that's vulgar music, man. Where's it? Put Paris Hammond on. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Put Dipjan on. Put Dipjan. You know what I'm saying? I said, but the beanies want to hear Vibes Cartel. He was laughing, but it was so the Caribbean influence in the UK was so strong. There was African. This is the true story. There was Africans I knew, that were fellow Africans like me. I always said I'm African. I always said where I'm from, where the mouth. I always said where I was from, because I'm from where I'm from, and I ain't gonna pretend, innit? Like I'm where I'm in it. But there was Africans, fully Africans, second generation, telling me, I'm Jamaican. Bro, do you know how many people wanted to be Jamaican? I knew white people that wanted to be Jamaican, bro. Like, and it's specifically Jamaican. They didn't even say that. Like, obviously, big up to all the Caribbean, but it was because of the Jamaican culture was so strong, in the UK. People were lying, saying that they're Jamaican, then you'll be in class, you're like, wait, hold on, that's second name don't sound Jamaican, bro. You know what I'm saying? I knew you weren't Jamaican. Do you get what I'm saying? Because the culture was so strong. Do you get me? So then, for me, even as an African, for me to see the whole thing flip, and now Jamaicans that would never listen to African music now listen.
That's what I'm trying to say, because back in the day, because it was like,
They would dismiss us like as Africans. Let's be real.
But bro, yeah. No, what? Listen, you should know this, yeah. So the this was this, yeah, right. the this was this. So this is my fellow, like my next black English brother. You're black, yeah. So you say so it was almost like they felt they're being derogatory by saying you're a black African. So they'll say, "Shut up, you black African." Like, so it's like, I'm just thinking. So they would use that to sort of, mess with your, how you are.
Like
and I was thinking, yeah, and that. But now it's totally different. Now it's cool to be African. It's cool to listen to African music. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. The Afro beat. You see the stuff that's coming out with all them. I mean, I'm of the older generation, so I don't kind of follow it like you. So you would know all the names and stuff like that. But I mean, I as I say, I play music, I play drums and stuff like that. So every now and again, if I've got to play,
you saw it. You saw the Caribbeans now of another generation be like, they're going to an Afrobeats club, not a bashment club or sound system.
Yeah, and
that's in the early 2000s. You remember that people were banging Sean Paul, people were banging artists like that, and it all flipped. Do you know what I mean? All of a sudden, it's like. And for me, it was like, raw, like this is crazy because like even the UK artists, we started to get African UK artists. Because before it was, you'd even get like the second generation or third generation Jamaicans, then get into grime music or UK hip hop, but they were Caribbean because they've been here longer. And the generations before them were more fresh, i.e. my mum. You know what I mean? Where they're coming into work, but then their kids now, like my generation now they still weren't really on that. And the generation after me, now they're becoming, they're now being musical artists. Do you know what I'm saying? Like someone like Skepta. Skepta's Nigerian. Skepta in the 80s would have a strong accent, but all of a sudden he's one of the biggest acts in the UK. That weren't like that before. Yeah.
Who was that other brother? There was another brother. He lived over in it was Southeast. What was his name?
There was Tinchy Strider. He was from East London. Tinchy Strider, he's African. There was loads. I know Giggs is Caribbean. But even K Coke, anyone that knows K Coke here from Stonebridge, I think his family is different.
You see all these names. You see all these names you're writing off. I ain't got a clue.
I think Sneak Bow. He's from Brixton. He's from South. I think Sneak Bow is African. I think he's African. Even do you know what? That's the thing. It got to the point. Yeah,
like say Stormzy, like Stormzy.
Stormzy's Ghanaian. Exactly. Thank you. Stormzy. Yeah. Do you get me? But one of the biggest artists like that weren't like that before. Do you get me?
That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, that guy, he's packing arenas, He's packing arenas. And I know, because I'm like, so as I say, I play music. So the guy that I play music with, like when we used to like play back in the day, we used to play like in all the different clubs up in like WKD in Camden. We used to play at the Jazz Cafe and stuff like that. But his boys play for Stormzy. I know his boys. I know the guys that play for Stormzy. I know them good. Like I remember when they were like little, and like because when we used to go gigging and stuff like that, we used to go down, get our stuff, whatever. And we got gigging all night and stuff like that. And they'd be like in their room practicing their little thing. Only that, so if you like watch a Stormzy gig, there's two brothers in there that play in there. And bro, the keyboard player, bad boy keyboard player, and the other brother is a bassist. I mean, these guys, they're not even 25 yet. And these mans are going all over the world, you know what I mean, playing for everybody, you know what I mean? And they're Southeast boys. I mean, I've done stuff in their studio. They got their own studio and everything, you know what I mean? So to be linking and them, man, and, are playing for Stormzy and stuff like that, writing tracks for him and stuff like that, it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? To see him grow up and do it. So, yeah.
There's so many things that change. Like, I remember growing up here and then, like, going to school and then people having arguments. Like, this is in secondary school. Somalis aren't black. I'm like, what? You can clearly see they're black. This wasn't anyone that wasn't there. Yeah, everyone that's of my age of the 90s, you know what I'm talking about. People would dismiss Somalis and say they're not black. They are
Yeah,
black.
yeah,
And
they are,
they'll
yeah.
have a big argument. Oh, they're not black. I'm like, bro, they're African, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember, yeah, like for me, I feel like my experience at that specific time was good with Caribbean people because Caribbean people would mistaken me for Caribbean. That was the truth.
That's what I would go. But if you didn't tell me, we didn't have this conversation, I would have thought you was from the Caribbean. Or your parents were from the Caribbean, or like, yeah, you know what I mean? Even in your accent, but it's then I can't remember. I think what happened was like when I thought you was, and then you started talking in Portuguese. I was like, hang on a minute, it's not of Jamaican thingy. So it kind of threw me. So when you was cussing, and you're at the time when you're letting off at Arsenal, you start cussing in Portuguese. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, I get a lot of love from Caribbean girl. All my life, I got so much love for. But big up the Caribbean. Caribbean treated me good, bro. I can't lie. I can't lie. Caribbean people treat me good, bro.
Yeah, no,
but
man,
I always felt that. I feel like they respected me because I'd always be like, I'd run home like I'm not Caribbean and I'm not trying to be Caribbean. I'm just a person. If you fuck with me, cool. You don't fuck with me, cool. You don't fuck with me. Like, it is what it is, innit? But I'm not, because there's a lot of people. What these are called? Jamaicans. You know what I'm saying? And they'd be like, nah. You see Handrew? You see Handrew? Yeah, you're good youth, you know. Good youth. I'm like, yeah, I'm a good youth, bro.
And you notice, it's not with the A, you know, it's the H. Handrew.
With a Handrew. That's
have
a orange. You want a orange?
Listen, you want a orange? You want a orange drink?
That's what I'm saying, man.
That's why I'm saying. That's why Yard Man is exploding, brother. Yeah, I want him halt. Arteta halt.
You want a orange?
You want an orange drink?
Oh, this.
Funny enough, I remember when I did it like back in the day. I remember I was a plasterer's boy, and I'll tell you who they speak really fast. People from St. Vincent. I don't know if you ever met people from St. Vincent, yeah. And I was a plasterer's boy, yeah. Brother, when this man started to talk, you know, and when he started to fire off, right, he goes, and I'm like, because he's giving me instructions to do something, and I'm standing there going, he's like, what tell you? I'm like, what? I was like 13, 14. Brother, you know what I mean? And then you get vexed with me, you know. Because what it is when you're a plasterer's boy, you got to make sure you get the mix right. You know, especially when you're doing the old finish. You said, don't leave no hair bubbles. You know, listen. But I'll tell you one thing he did. He made a lovely cornmeal porridge. Jeez. Yeah, anybody in the chat, man, cornmeal porridge, bro. Yeah, when you're sick, yeah. And my dad used to make the cornmeal porridge, bro, with a nutmeg and the vanilla and salt and that. Bro, listen, man, you can't beat that. And what I used to do, right? What I used to do, yeah, I used to love, and I still do it now. I used to break the bread up and drop it in the cornmeal porridge, man. Jeez. Bro, listen, man. You know, everybody in the chat, tell me if you not had cornmeal porridge with Ardo bread, broke up in there, and you eat that. The best, right? The best, yeah, is when you eat it from the pot. You eat it from the pot, because what happens? You get the skin. You see, you scrape the skin at the bottom. Bro, listen, man, you couldn't beat that, bro. You can't beat that. You can't beat that, man. Those days were good, man. Those days were good, brother. Those days were good.
I can't lie. So many of my memories, yeah, are around Caribbean people, because I was around more other ethnicities than my own. So, like, the guys that taught me how to fight, they were Caribbean. There was like 6 brothers, yeah, and one of them, Kenny, he was my age. They're like, yo, you two, what are you two doing? We're like, what are we doing? They just put us boxing gloves. They're like in the living room right now. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we're just there with our skinny arms, yeah. And they're like, right, fight, yeah. And they never they were just like, fair fight. And then their brother Kenny started crying, yeah, because he punched me in the eye. I was like, oh, and I punched him, and they were like, yo, Kenny, you're gonna let him do that? Yeah, you're gonna let him do that, whatever, yeah. But they always built unity amongst us. Yeah. Always.
Character.
It was always like Caribbean people always treating me good, man. Always, like, even like my apprenticeship, I even become like, my whole career is based because a Caribbean brother said to me, he could have taken me as an apprentice or another brother. He's like, yo, I'm gonna help you. You know what I mean? You're a brother like me, I'm gonna help you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, even like everything, bro. Like even the girls, bro. Like I just got bare love from the girls, but I can't lie, I got bare love from the girls, bro. Like everything was just. But even like when I worked with Caribbean people, yeah, that was the best time I ever worked in any place. It'll be like It'll be like we'll be working, yeah, self-employed Caribbean, yeah. They'll be like, right, we're gonna go down. They're like, oh, what time is it? Cool. We're gonna go to Mum's. You know what I mean? In Kilburn. I'm like, cool. We're going there. They're like, we're walking in the shop. They're like, what you know about curry mutton? You don't know nothing about curry mutton. You don't know nothing about no hard food. You don't know about nothing but no hard food. I'm like, yo, why are you cussing me, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'll tell you, you don't listen. I'll tell you this now. When you finish eating that hard food, yeah, you can't work anymore. You know, you can't work anymore. You're ready to sleep. But listen, bro.
Well, you know about dumpling. You know nothing about dumpling.
You don't know about dumpling, man. Well,
look what you there. You know what I said? He goes, and then we'll be eating, yeah. He'd be like, oh, you're watching Little Beanie, yeah? You go. Me have to help out all the youth them, you know. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you have some knowledge. I remember we'll be listening to, yeah, Roots, I think it was Roots FM, yeah, in Halsden, yeah. And there was a guy called 90 Degrees, yeah. This Rasta man, bro, they had to take him off the airways, bro. Literally, yeah, before we'd start the job, yeah, he'd be like, Olan. Because we pull up to the customer's place, yeah, to install the boiler. He's like, Olan. Let me put on Roots FM, yeah? He goes, Olan, you know, dog. And then he'll put the Roots FM, yeah? He's like, Babylon, them come and they want to fuck up man's life, you know? Man, I hear that, you know? Fire for Babylon, you know? Fire for that. He'll be talking, bro. He'll be cussing the government. He'll be cussing down religion. He'll be cussing like, bro, the whole country, bro. He'll be cussing England, everything, bro. It got to a point, yeah? One time he was live, yeah? Anybody that knows from Halsden, yeah? Man like 90 Degrees, yeah? They come and they took him out of the flipping radio, bro. It went to commercials, bro. The police came and dragged him.
Wow.
He's like, me see one batty boy working pan Alden Road. Me said, fire for that. Batty boy, fire for that. Boom, bye in a batty boy's head. Play the tune up, run the tune. You know what I'm saying? He's just firing for everyone, bro. Yeah. I swear God, we'll be cracking up.
Was it who was it that got banned? They wouldn't allow him in the country because he was who was the artist again?
Buju Banton.
Buju Banton, yeah.
Yeah. Buju, bro.
Because he didn't care, man.
There was no mental health back then.
No, brother, he didn't care, bro, man. You get it. It's what it is. They refused to have him in the country.
Big up to all of the youth, them.
Oh, bro, I'll tell you that, bro. I'll tell you that. It's different. They don't mess about, man. Them Jamaicans, they don't mess about, brother.
Bro, even in the barbers, bro. This barbers have been going since I was little, yeah. It'd be like talking to me in patois. It'd be like, and I'd be like, yo, bro, like I'm not Jamaican, innit? And he's there like, you're not Jamaican? I'm like, bro, I've been coming here since I was 10, bro. I'm 16 now, bro. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, Olan, we're gonna put a bet on the ass.
Bro, listen, or you be in the barbers, yeah, when back in the day, yeah, because we needs to be packed out, right? And they'll be having conversation, arguing, and man is cutting your hair, and then them stopping and arguing with each other. That time now, you're just sitting in the chair, you know, you've got the thing right, you're thinking, bro, I want my hair cut, and they argue with the next man on the other chair. Like, it's like, bro. But that's where it is. Like the barber shops, like, you know, when you go there, everything happens there. You talk about anything and anything, you know what I mean? Everything and anything. And yeah, so I've been going to this barber's, this is like New Cross. I've been going there from since I was a kid and growing up, and then seeing him grow up, his son grow up, and his son now. But you know, the thing is, yeah, you know, when there's a certain type way you want your hair to be cut, and it's quite shameful because you're going there. You probably, you know, you beat the barbers and you have your favorite barber in it. Yeah, so you walk in and everybody's sitting down, and it's the next one, and nobody's getting up. I was like, you know what? Because the dad used to cut my hair. The dad used to cut my hair, and then after I was thinking, nah, man, I've asked you to cut this way, and you cut it a different way. So I said, that ain't happening no more. So the son now, who's now, I mean, you know, his son is in his 50s, so you can imagine. And he's been there. He's been at that barber's, bro. As I said, I was born 67. and I started going there from the early 70s. You know what I mean? And he's still got the shop going. Funny enough, they shot they've got pictures of Ian Wright in there. Ian Wright is in there, take pictures with the Barbers and that, because Ian Wright is a Southeast man. You know what I mean? He's a Southeast boy, Ian Wright. So
I'm telling you, yeah, I'll be like, bro, this guy would be like, he's like, all of a sudden, yeah, he's like, we're going down to Peckins. It was like a record shop in Halsden, we're going Peckins. I'm like, what do you mean you're going Peckins? You only been here, you already come in at lunchtime, because this guy used to arrive late, bro. This guy will bounce in at like 10:30, bro. You know what I mean? To the job. He's like, we're going Peckins. And I'm like, no, but you can't go yet. Like, you barely done any work. You got, no, you can't do that, you're not dog. I said, what do you mean? He's like, hold on. I said, where you going, bro? I swear down, man. Caribbean, bro, are so funny, man. So
everything that I do. When I was in Jamaica last year, right? And but back then, like when the last time I went to Jamaica, obviously from last year, but then the year before, the last time I went there was like in like 1980. I think it would have been about 88, 89. And then them days they didn't have the toll roads. It was just like block up roads, just like no lights, nothing. So anyway, I used to hear these stories about man overtaking the next car, overtaking that one, and the next car overtaking that. I saw it with my own eyes. So that last year when I went out there, right, it's a toll road, but there's hardly any cars on there. You know, like over here, like the M25 or the motorway, it's full of pack up of cars. If you got money, you can go on the toll roads, simple as. But when you're driving, you got a man comes down behind you, overtakes, and there's a next man. Because there's nothing coming. I'm thinking, if there's another car coming, so you've got like 2 or 3 cars overtaking you. One's overtaking the other one, overtaking the other one. I'm like, how does this guys do it? And like their things is in kilometers, yeah. So I remember the lady come to pick us up from the airport, from Kingston Airport, and that's when I bumped into what's his name, Sterling. I bumped him at Kingston Airport.
Yeah.
I went up. I said, I said to my missus, that's Sterling over there, isn't it? So I'm going to go over there and just say hi to him and that. So I went over to him. I said, Sterling, you need to come quick, And I sort of just sort of laugh and everything. So I took a picture with him. But yeah, it's crazy over there. And the woman there, this is dark. I'm sitting in the front and I was just pressing imaginary brakes. Yeah. She's doing like 140 kilometers. Now that would probably work out to be about 80, 90 miles an hour. But I'm like, geez, and she's dodging potholes as well, because if you hit a pothole, that's it. Your car is written off. And this, I don't know how she did it. I wish she knew where the potholes were. But she, yeah. It's all right, man. Don't worry. I'm sitting in the front of my missus, right? Where every time I keep looking back. Oh no, I'm looking. I'm like, no, but Jamaica was lovely though. Man. I'll tell you, man. I'll tell anybody that got there. Especially like because you got the Negroes and like the tourist part of it, but we didn't go to the tourist part. We went to Jamaica.
We went to Jamaica. Is Negro the tourist part? Because he got married.
You got Negro, you got Negro, you got Ocharias, you know what I mean. You got Duns River, all round. You know what I mean. You got Trelawney, But I was born here, so you know what I mean. So you got some really nice parts out there. But it's good to get into the hills, man, because like when you're there in the hills, it's very mountainy in Jamaica. You don't realize it, and lots of greenery and stuff like that. Like you could be sitting in your car and you can look across and you can see raining over there, and it's not raining there. You see the cloud and you see the rain coming down, and you're thinking, the rain is coming over this way. You can literally see the cloud. It's crazy, man. But no, Jamaica, as I said. I hadn't been there back in like 30 odd years. So going there, they had toll roads on there and stuff like that. So in terms of like the Chinese, you got a lot of Chinese over there because the Chinese go and build the roads over there and stuff like that. So, but when I went in 88, I remember going to this shop. If you ever hear Chinese Jamaican, woo!
I saw it on Instagram.
Jeez, man. That was the first time I ever met one. Right? I went in the shop and when I say proper Jamaican, you can't understand them because Chinese talk fast as it is. So mix that with the Jamaican dialect, bro. You're done out here, bro.
You know what? Yeah. Do you know what the equivalent? Jamaicans don't know this, obviously, because they don't speak Spanish. Yeah. the Latin equivalent of Jamaica. I'm telling you, and I've been around both communities, yeah. And now, most of my life, I was around Jamaicans. Most of my life, Jamaican friends, everything. Now I'm around Dominicans. Dominicans are the Spanish version of Jamaicans. And when my girl told me that, because she's Colombian, she's like, "Yo, I'm telling you," because she grew up in Islington, yeah. She's like, "I'm telling you, Dominicans, yeah, the music, first of all, a lot of it has a lot of rhythms from Bashment. They play dembow, yeah. I'm gonna send you some tunes, yeah. I'm gonna show you how they are, even the way they dress. Obviously, you're not gonna understand the way they talk, yeah, but their mannerism, everything,
it's very much the same.
It's their thing, yeah. But it's so similar to Jamaicans, yeah. If Jamaicans could understand Spanish, they'd be like, "Yo, that's our cousins." Like, I'm telling you, Dominicans, yeah, the way that they dress, the way that they are, like, even for her, yeah, she's like, out of all of the Latin people, yeah, the way that, because they love to rap as well, but obviously they rap in Spanish. They love to rap. They like to make like different types of dance, like of every person. Every time I take people like to a Latin place, the one place that everybody always likes is Dominican, because it sounds like bashment mixed with hip hop. It sounds like Jamaican culture. Do you get what I'm saying? It sounds. It's not exactly the same, but it's so similar, yeah, that people love it, bro. I'm gonna send you some tunes in it. And it's gonna be from over there, in it. You're gonna see it, even like, because it's a Caribbean island. It even looks like parts of what I've seen in Jamaica, innit? I'm like, them man there, they're crazy. Dominicans, they're crazy, bro. Like,
have you been Jamaica though? Have you been Jamaica?
No, I went Dominican Republic.
Okay, we'll check out. You go and check Jamaica out. I'm telling you.
I need to go Jamaica. So it was out of Jamaica and Mexico. I ended up going to Mexico, but I told her I want to go Jamaica. And she's like, "Yeah, she's on it." She's like, "Yeah, I'll go Jamaica. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you'll love it. You'll love it.
Jamaica. I want to go, but I'll be. She knows this anyway, like, because my ex was Jamaican. I always thought that, like, this is before I met Latin people. Yeah, I was not around Latin people, because Latin people were more from like South London. That's where the Portuguese. Yeah. South London, I grew up Northwest. There weren't no Latinos. There was no Colombians. There's no nothing. Like, now there's a little bit more, but there was none of them. So I was like, all right, cool. Because I was around Caribbean so much, yeah, I thought I was gonna end up with a Caribbean girl. Because majority, like, I got bored. I can't lie. I got tired of the English girls. I can't lie. Big up to the English girls, but I kind of got tired of it. I'm just gonna be honest, yeah. I'm just gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying? And then I started like Caribbean girl. I thought, like, even my mum said to me, she's like, "You're gonna marry a Jamaican." I was like, some girls, I don't really care. Like, do what you want. She's like, if that's what you like, that's what you like. My mum's like, whatever. Like, that's what you like, innit? But then, like, yeah, like, it didn't work out with my previous girl. And then that's when I started being around Latin people. And then, you end up mixing around the people that you're around, innit? But for the longest, because I used to go, I don't know if you know, you're the generation, like, a bit before me, yeah. Way back. Yeah. There was one yardie rave, yeah, called Through the Rose. I remember this one. I think it was in East London. Yeah. Bro, this place, yeah, was the most ghetto place in Ormsky, yeah. You'll be in the line, yeah. There was yardie girls with like neon orange hair, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, north side. Listen to this, yeah. Listen to this. You said that, right? You must have been in my car, right? Because I was in where was I? I was in Deptford, New Cross, yeah. We're doing pick up some patties, you know what I mean? Jamaican patties there, you know. So I got out of the car and I'm talking with this guy because he like owns the it's like an industrial place. So we're there talking, and then this woman pulls up in the car. Didn't see her properly. So anyway, she comes back up and she said to me, wait, she said to him, "Where you budding the man from?" So I looked, when I turned around, this woman had the most, you know, the orange, you know, it's a slick.
In Dominican Republic, they got that as well, bro. Every time I go in there, they got like some neon red hair,
orange,
bro. Like, they're looking like yardies,
orange.
Bro.
Sometimes you see the pink one, blue. Yo.
And then it's like, what's your name? Shanice.
Shanisha.
You know that guy Major Hype. You know the guy Major Hype, the comedy guy.
Yeah.
bro. Have you seen when he does Mitzi?
No, because I used to get a lot of those on the
bro.
I used to get it on the. Was it on Insta? They used to do his stuff on Insta or was it YouTube? I used to get it on your channel.
On YouTube, bro. That guy makes me flipping laugh, bro. He does a Rasta man and he does Mitzi in it, and bro, it's just too funny, too funny. Yeah. And he just does like with the friends in that cussing her friend Petian, when I like the hairstyle, That don't look good pan you. You know about style.
No. And the way, and sometimes the hair is the same color as their dress and that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That's that,
bro, my generation, yeah. Bro, I'm telling you, they're telling me, yo, he goes, I love Jamaican girls, but he goes, I hate yardies. This is a Bayesian guy that was my age. He's like, I love Jamaican, I love the Caribbean girls, but I can't stand the yardies. I'm like, no, but the yardies are funny though. The yardies are, but I'm not wiping the yardie. I'm like, yo, but they're hilarious, bro. They're part of the community.
Yeah. Nah, seriously, bro. When you see, and that's again, I mean, I'd be in these bashment things, but that's where you're gonna find them. You're gonna find the hair matching, outfits. Understand? You know what I mean? If it's pink, blue, green, I don't know. I'm like, whoa. You know what I mean? Some of the clothing as well, brother. But listen, I'm not gonna say some of them tried to squeeze in it, but you know what I mean. It ain't quite happening. You know what I mean. But everybody to their own. You know what I mean. If they feel good and feel proud about it, then so be it. You know what I'm saying.
Nah, it was too funny, bro. Like even in Harrow, golden scissors. Anybody that knows, because it was golden clippers, golden scissors. Caribbean, both of them. One for the women, and obviously the barber shop for the men. Yeah, I'm telling you, the way they used to do my mom's hair, my sister's hair, 10 out of 10. They're all Caribbean. You walk in there, they're playing like Mary J. Blige. They're playing like, you know what I'm saying? Like Caribbean people love like soul music, R&B music.
Listen, I mean, for me, I love Rare Groove. If you ever listen to Rare Groove, bro, like back in the day, people, about the Rare Groove stuff, man. You know what I'm trying to say? Lovers Rock is there because the Lovers Rock is kind of like a mixture of reggae and soul. So like Janet Kay. Janet Kay. That's like obviously everybody's like, I'll be watching you. I can't even go to high notes. You know what I'm trying to say? But but Rare Groove for me, because I like music and that. So if depending on who I'm playing for or whatever, I might like back in the day. Like we used to do like funky house. So it was just quite easy because all I had to just do was just like, and like the drums and bass drums just going like that. And my man is on the bass doing his thing. And then you just got the man just doing his things on the keyboards and stuff like that. That's easy to do. But then when it gets a little bit more intricate where you're kind of playing more sort of jazz standards and stuff like that. But I love the Rare Groove.
Do you like Garnet Silk? Garnet Silk, Sizzler, Jacure, Sanchez, Wayne Wonder, Richie Spice.
Yeah. Do you know what the thing is, right? With reggae, right? I can take it in very small dosage.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm not like whatever. So, like, if say for instance, like the other day we was at a 60th birthday party, and if they drop certain tunes, from back, you go,
knows what ends I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Barrington Levy. But do you know why? Yeah, because when I started my apprenticeship, that's all I was listening to. I get in the van, reggae the whole time. Do you know what I'm saying? So I got to know about your generation of music, or maybe your parents' generation of reggae music. Yeah. Through that period. So I was doing my apprenticeship for like 4 or 5 years, every single day. Sometimes I work weekends as well. Even we'll get there, he'd be like, go get the radio, bring in the radio, and then put on the radio on, just reggae, pure reggae. So I felt like I had the like Caribbean experience, like through my like apprenticeship, because it was every day reggae music, all day, bro. To the point where there's tunes that I'll know that some people would not expect me to know. And
that's what I'm say. If you're around it and you got the guys playing that. So if say for instance you was at say, I don't know, a dance or a party and they play a tune and you're like, I'm thinking, why do you know that?
Because we went to a dance, innit? Me and her went to a dance, Caribbean dance. Me and her went to a Caribbean dance in central London, about 2 months ago, yeah? And they started playing From a Little Cottage in the Grill, I wrote these lines for you. Oh, baby. And she was looking at me like, I'm like, you don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying?
They say, pull it up again, man. Pull it up. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then she was like, yo, how do you know this shit? And she's like, bro, and that's the thing, yeah. That's the one thing I've loved about being born in England, yeah. Is like, I can go around Jamaicans and I know tunes they will never expect me to know. I can go around Latinos and I'll be singing salsas that they would be like, how do you know that? I can go around all sorts, bro, all sorts of people, English people, because my mom used to love like ballads. So when my mom would come, like, when my mom came, she didn't even know how to speak English, but ballads were popular and they were popular all around the world in the 80s, innit? Yeah. So she got me onto the ballads, innit? And then
Mariah Carey, you like Mariah Carey? You like that one?
Yeah, but they don't know about Mariah Carey, innit? They don't know, innit? If they don't know about Tina Marie, you don't know about Tina Marie.
Listen, you know what I mean? Yeah, so
Come on, man. I'm serious.
What's her name? What's the percussionist? She was what's her name? The percussionist. She sang as well. Somebody put it in the chat, man. Big time percussionist, but she played drums as well, and she played for Prince. She played for Prince, and she also did she played on one of the Michael Jackson albums. You know, there was one, the Off the Wall. I think it was the Off the Wall album. Sheila E. That's it. Thank you, master of music. Well, listen, you're a master of music, so you know what I mean. But listen, this old Ed, brother, you know, the old grey matter, man. You know what I mean? Can't remember things, you know what I mean? But Sheila E. She was bad, and I think Sheila E. She did I don't want to do it because I'm gonna spoil it. The Off the Wall album. Don't stop till you get enough. There's a bit at the start of it where she plays this thing, and she plays the thingy on bottles. So the start of it, so she's breaking it down, and she did this. Because she come in there, she goes, "What do you want to do?" She's got all the timbales out and everything. Yeah, pause. She got all the timbales out, and then he said no, and she had this like bottle thing, and she started to do this thing, and that was a start. So if you listen to that tune, I think it's that one. The first part of us doing this thing on the bottle, and they actually recorded that. So yeah, man.
I'm telling you, Sade, another one, Sade.
Oh yeah, Sade. Yeah,
Sade. Bro, that woman is so it's just relaxed.
She was just and she's Sade's what, half Nigerian, isn't it? Is it Nigerian?
Yeah, she is, yeah. She is. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sade. And everyone talks about R. Kelly, all these man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Listen, my favorite R&B artist, is Joe. If you don't know about Joe, don't chat to me, innit? Don't chat to me, innit?
All them sort of 90s, innit? All those 90s and stuff like that, you know.
Joe is good though, Normski, bro. He's good though. He's good. And you know how good he was, yeah? It came out after he did the interview. It came out after R. Kelly was trying to block him. Why are you trying to block someone that ain't good? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Block him, bro, because he was like, yo, Joe is the guy. Do you know why, yeah? But this is one thing. This is why, yeah, when top gooners want to talk to me and they're younger than me, yeah, shush your mouth and listen, yeah? Because I learned so much by people that are older than me. So much, yeah? The Lovers Rock, made me approach the Caribbean girls, you know, and they're cool, you know what I mean? Let me just chat to you, you know what I'm saying? Let me just chat to you the nice thing, you know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, yeah, my older sister, she got with one guy. He was Angolan, yeah? But he was born here as well, yeah? And I was like, this guy is bare ugly, like I'm not, like, it's my sister, whatever, innit? But I was like, bro, like, even my mom was like, wow, like, how are you bringing it? Do you know why? This guy was deep in the tunes, yeah, and he was manipulating the tunes, yeah, to chat to the girl. Bro, this guy was quick, witty, funny. I said, oh, that's
the personality just won the thing.
So I started then learning. I was like, oh, is this how it works? I was like, is this how you punch above your station? I was like, this is but I started listening to Joe. All of a sudden, he was listening to Joe. I started listening to Joe. I was like, yo, all of a sudden, boom. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, this is how you're doing it. Bro, every generation that's older than me, there's always something I've taken from. I've seen something that I'm like, yo, I want to take that. Like, I want to, this. There's always something you can learn, man. Always something you can learn. I'm telling you, always something you can learn. And that's
but
why
the 90s were big for that, though. The 90s were definitely big for the R&B, that side of it. You know, you can beat that. Everybody was doing R&B then. It's actually quite funny because, like, I think is it Hong Kong that like the R&B? I think it's Hong Kong or one of them Asian countries. I know one of them Asian countries love the ragga. Like, you got proper Chinese man chatting. They can't speak a word of English, yeah. And then all of a sudden they start doing a ragga and start chatting, and they're chatting in like almost like patois, yeah, but to the ragga tunes. Like you just type in there, right? And they used to have like competitions out there and stuff like that. I used to get a lot of them on my timeline. So I used to, sometimes you get something in the timeline, you're thinking, oh, it's interesting, and then you watch the next one, and the next one, like, you know what I mean? And then you get to find out that it's kind of big out there. Like in certain parts of Asia, they love R&B. Philippines, yeah, they love Japan. That's right, yeah. Root calls, you know them way there. It's
where
Japan.
they do the karaoke and that. You know
Japan love the ragga music, and they got big time Japanese artists out there doing the thing, and they invite. If you just put in. If you put on your phone Japan ragga, yeah, and you'll see. And then when the man are ready to pop it, man, you know what I mean? and you know what it is as well, right? You know what it is as well, right? No, it's the mannerism as well. Because, you know, there's a certain way, you know, the way they just talk and the way they stand and everything. There's just even your mannerism. You know what I mean? You know, like the Jamaicans, there's kind of like a laid back thing. Yeah, but we are.
Yeah.
It's like, just like, what? Yeah, I said, what? You know, man, Rastafari, they're weird there.
I'm telling you, Normski, good music, yeah? Good music is timeless, bro. These men don't know about Keith Sweat, nobody.
Oh, yeah, Keith Sweat, yeah, Keith Sweat.
You man don't know about no Keith Sweat.
What was my missus' favourite? She used to love, what was my missus' one? He was, what was his name? She used to love him. What was his name? She used to talk about him. I'll tell you, it will come back to me in a minute. You're not
thinking about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, there's so much. But yeah, she used to love. I mean, obviously, Boys to Men. You know what I mean? To the end. Yeah, that's what we're gonna be. That's what we're gonna be singing for Arsenal.
Bro, I remember my mom had a crush on Craig David.
Oh,
and I was like, and she's like, yeah. And then one time he took the hat off you. She's like, no, put the hat back on. Put the hat back on. And she was like,
I'm not gonna lie though, that he does look a little bit like, especially in his older age now, he does look a little bit like a caricature. I don't know, if you think about it, just if you think about how he looks now, because he's obviously trying to still, his face has got older, so he looks very more caricature. Because when he was younger, I remember when he hit the scene and everything, because he had the guy that's on the acoustic guitar and he was just doing his thing. I think that's cool, man. That's kind of cool. But he's still going out there and he's still doing his stuff. Do you know what I mean? He's still doing his stuff. Oh, Japan hip hop and R&B scene is it's big out there. In Japan, it's absolutely massive out there. Even the way they dress, them man are running the different color hair out there as well.
They're keeping it organic.
yeah, for real.
Keeping it organic. But my mom loved all sorts, bro. I remember she loved Lionel Richie. Like listening to Lionel Richie, yeah, reminds me of my mom. Oh, she's a woman. She loved Lionel Richie. Like when she was spring cleaning, Lionel Richie. You know what I'm saying? She was mashing up the words though, yeah. You were loving that, you know what I'm saying? But then when because her hairdresser was Jamaican, she then got to like Caribbean music through that, because you know them when they go there straightening the hair, that takes a whole day, bro.
Listen, it's a whole day. Just know. If you're going with them, bring your packed lunch. Bring your packed lunch, brother. That's what I'm saying. Bring your packed lunch. That's all I gotta say. Bring your packed lunch. You know what I mean?
Home and that. You know what I'm saying? It's long, bro.
Or you know, like or when they're doing like the the little tiny braids, like the really thin one. I take my hat off to them, man, because literally it's like you must be counting like 1,000 strands, like because they're really thin, like bro. But listen, respect to them, man. And a lot of you'll find that a lot of black female women, they've got a lot of like in terms of there was a thing that went out some years back of how many sort of like black business women there are out there, and it's quite surprising. There's more black business women that own their own business than their white counterparts, apparently. And that's probably going to be down more to like the hairdressing and stuff like that. You know what I'm trying to say? Because that's just one of the biggest things out there. So I was reading something up on that some time back.
Nah, bro.
But yeah.
The best ones back in the day, they were all Caribbean. I can't lie. I went to one in Edgware. They were Ghanaian, yeah. And big up to my African brothers, yeah. But these ones, bro, they effed up my head. I went straight back to Golden Clippers, bro. Straight back. You know what I'm saying? I said, you know what?
What did I do? What did I do?
You know what it was, yeah? With the Caribbean, you know what I was getting? Do you know what started annoying me? It's because, first of all, I'm waiting bare time to get my hair trimmed. Second of all, your bedroom comes in, he's like, yeah, we just start doing my shape up and then we'll start it out. And then the next thing, my next bedroom, then you're next. And I'm like, bro, next thing you know, I've been waiting their time, yeah, and that 5 guys have jumped in front of me. Pause. You know what I'm saying? How? Do you know what I'm saying? And then he's telling me, oh, I'm just going to give him a shape up. You give him a full trim, he's giving him a fade and everything. I was like, what's going on? You're taking me for a prick, bro.
That's because what they do. Do they do the old powder? Do they do the old powder thing? Like,
yeah. They dip it.
Man.
Yeah.
No,
I started getting vexed. Yeah, I said, yeah, I bun this, bro. One time, it was literally the day of the carnival. I went there. He was so distracted. Yeah, this guy always done my hair well. He was so distracted. Yeah, that he made my hairline, instead of being like this, my hairline was like this, bro. It was like, bro, I'm telling you, bro. It was like, bro, bro. It was like the mountains in the grill or something, bro. I don't know what it was. Yeah, I didn't ever ask him for that. I was so angry. My cousin, yeah, he was like,
can you when we finish? You know when they finish, say, oh, look, all right.
No, just put the mirror, yeah. Just put the mirror like this. All right.
Yeah, and you don't want to say anything, innit? Like, right.
And my forehead was burning, innit? Where he trimmed the hair there, it was burning, bro. It was burning. He receded the hairline so much, it was burning, bro. I was so angry. My cousin goes at the bus stop, yeah. You know where they got the stuff that they're promoting, yeah. He goes, look there. I saw it. My hairline's like this. I said, I can't go carnival like this. I still went, yeah, because I was like, fuck it. I was like, nah, man.
It's just a new style. It's a new style. It's a new style, man. I hope it will catch on.
Bro, you messed up my hair, bro. I was like, I can't forgive this. You know what I'm saying? I can't forgive this. But the thing is, you know when they recede it so much this way, to make it straight, they got to recede it that way. Yeah, next thing you know, you got a hairline like that, yeah. But when it grows out, yeah, you got like a massive, it looks like a Snickers bar in the front, bro. It's like growing out. Like, I don't know what's going on. Oh, bro.
I've managed to keep my hairline, so
your hairline shot because you're black in it.
You know what I mean? They call me a pint of Guinness, you know what I'm saying?
That's a solid hairline. I can't lie. That's a solid hairline, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
You don't want to see the back.
Just fade it. Just fade it.
It's a don't know. You know what it is, yeah? Because you know, obviously, when you get older and everything. So I went to the barbers, and the man said, "Yeah, this is the first time." He goes, "Yeah, I can like spray this thing in the back of your head, like sort of thing." And it's like I don't know what it is, but it's like a powder thing, but black powder. I was like, yo, this is kind of good. Yeah, he goes, whatever you do, don't put your hand in the air. No.
I'm telling you, bro. But they did it to me in Colombia, because Colombia, yeah, she had a friend. I was like, yo, when I'm out there, I need to get my hair sorted, innit? She's like, yeah, because obviously, like, I think there's, like, in the Americas, there's more black people than there are in America itself. So in the Americas, every country got bare black people. Anyway, I'm there in Colombia. I already know there's bare black Colombians, bare millions of them. So she knew one that was mobile, but then he shaped up, but he made it look so crispy, yeah, because he started putting some of that spray stuff. And I only knew because when I washed it, I was like, all right, let me just wash the sides and that, you know what I'm saying? some of the black stuff started. I was like, I never asked for that, but it looked crisp though. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Super crisp.
It's like when they do the tattoo thing, innit? You know, like because you know when someone has done it, you know they do the tattoo thing, or what some guys do. I know. So I know this brother. I know for a fact, like he's lost the hair there, so it's like he's got the hair side. So one time I saw him, I was like, "When did that grow back?" you're talking with him. You look at him thinking, I'm trying to make eye contact with his eyes rather than the top of his head. Like, 'cause I'm thinking, yo, a week ago you was like, yeah, shine. Now you got hair. Where did that come from? You know what I mean? It's like when they do those. You know when they do the old things, innit? They put that thing on it's like a hairpiece, innit? And they stick it down with the glue. Like a glue. No, they glue it down, and then they shape it. So they mark your hair, glue it down. It's like a glue. I don't know how long it lasts.
Yes, the Stan Kroenke thing.
Yeah, and once it's all done up in that, because sometimes you see where like a black guy will go in there, and he's got no hair in the middle, and then they put the earpiece in there, and then they do the fade and everything, and it looks really good, like sort of thing. But bro, you know, we do dancing too hard or sweating too hard because you don't want that thing sliding off. You know what I mean? You don't want that sliding off.
You know, I'm evil, man. I'm laughing, yeah, but it's genetics. Like I'm lucky, innit? But it's...
So is your parents got? Is your dad got full? Is it got full head of hair? So he's not. He don't run. You don't. It's not. You don't get bald in your family. It's not hereditary.
Yeah, like my granddad still like my dad. Yeah, my dad died like probably. I think what was he like 38? Maybe 30.
Oh wow!
He died young, so he still had loads of hair. But I look at more of my granddad, and he's still got plenty. He still had plenty of hair. He died obviously.
Okay, yeah. Like, so you're good.
Yeah. I think it's all right. But
the only way you lose your hair, yeah, is if Arteta is still manager of this club in 10 years' time. I'll tell you, bro. Yeah, listen, I used to have black hair, you know. Yeah, I used to have black hair, brother. After supporting this club, man, I'll tell you, not good, man. Yeah, my, you know what? My missus, she's a couple of years older than me. Yeah, and it's only in the last 2 years grey hair starting to come through. Her hair is jet black because she's got and the mad thing about it, saying all of that, she's got a bit of Portuguese in her. So her mum's mum was from Portugal, so she's got Portuguese in her blood. You know what I mean? Can't speak a word of it, but you know what I mean. But yeah,
that's not the first time. That's not the first time I've heard of that. Because I think Sean Paul's got some Portuguese in him. Do you know what I mean? That's not the first time.
If you like do your ancestry and look where you just kind of come from, yeah, you probably will find that. I mean, Johnson, like obviously my what's the name is Johnson, surname is Johnson, but you know, so that. But it's only because that could be my slave name. You know what I mean?
No, but that's the same with the guy that I did my friendship with. Yeah? His last name is Mackenzie. But then the girl that I dated before the girl that I'm with now, her last name was Mackenzie, but they're not related. Right. But obviously, you know where that comes from, yeah. But the guy that I had my apprenticeship with, his Mackenzie, but they mixed, innit? So he's got Scottish in him.
Okay. Yeah.
So he had Scottish in him, and I think that's how he got his Mackenzie. But her side, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. But yeah, her dad. You look a lot like her dad, but her dad is Tottenham, innit? Her dad. Her dad is Tottenham. Yeah. But her mum's English, but her dad is Tottenham. Yeah, you look a lot like her dad, though. I can't lie.
Really? A lot of people say I look like if you was to type in on your phone Gareth Crooks. Just get an image up on Gareth Crooks on your phone and you'll see what I'm talking about. Crooks. Just type in Gareth Crooks, yeah, and you'll see why I'm talking about. You'll go, wow. He used to play for Stoke and he played for Tottenham.
Gareth Hooks, yeah?
No, Crooks. CRO. Yeah, CROOKS. Yeah, you see now, you see what I'm talking about now. The chat is going wild.
Yeah, I can't lie.
That's it. That's it. You see, that's it. Now every show I go on, come on now. Everyone's like, "Oh, what Gareth, what are you doing?" My cousin, yeah, he's a big Tottenham fan. He used to live in North London, and he goes, "Norms." He goes, "I can make some money." He goes, "Why?" He goes, "Listen, you look like Gareth Crooks, man. We're going to clubs.
Yeah, you do.
Just say you're Gareth Crooks, yeah." And you know, I remember I was doing shopping. Yeah, I was getting Mickey take him. I said, they used to go, "Oh, here goes Mr. Tesco," right? And this woman, I was coming out the shop, and she went, she goes, "Are you Gareth Crooks? My son would like your autograph." I said, "If I was Gareth Crooks, you wouldn't be seeing me with a shopping trolley." You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do. You know, you do look a lot like him. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. That's what
you do. I can't lie.
That's what people used to call me. Yeah, he used to call me Gareth Crooks. But he was a Stoke. He played for Stoke, and then he played for Tottenham.
Look at you, bro, playing with the Tottenham.
Oh, right, yeah.
You do. No, you actually do, bro. You could have actually done like madness.
No, seriously. My cousin, he said, "Norms," he goes, we can earn some money out here." You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't think I'll get away with it now. You know what I'm saying? Because he's got a Stoke accent. He's got a northern accent, and I ain't got a northern accent. You know what I mean? So
nah, that's minor though. They wouldn't even clock that because you look just like him. They wouldn't even clock that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look. Yeah, you look mad similar to him. Yeah, that's true, man. But yeah, man, listen.
Yeah, man, listen, bro. It was great chat, great nostalgia, music, take your mind off of football. You know what I mean? We'll see who gets announced tomorrow, Thursday or Friday. They fly off. Is it Saturday? They fly off to Singapore. Is it Saturday or Friday?
That's how much I don't care. I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true. No, I hear that, bro.
I don't even know. All I saw is preseason. Yeah, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, all I'm saying is just it could be another rinse and repeat, mate. You know what I'm trying to say? It could be another rinse and repeat. We just have to see how teams go this summer. But as I say, Man City, Liverpool, I think those are the teams that we need to beat. And then you've got the dark horse of Chelsea and Newcastle. You know what I mean? So unless just finish with this, I mean, unless Arteta changes his style and plays to the strength of Gyökeres, you know what I mean, we might stand a chance of winning some kind of trophy. I wouldn't say it's going to be a major trophy, but all I'd love to see is just for us to win something, to get that winning mentality back. Whether it's going to happen, because it, as I said, it's always rinse and repeat for me. And we've seen this club, you know, and we say it as it is. You know, people want to call us, you know, negative and all that, but we're just seeing the facts. We're seeing it happen time and time again, and then you just have the top fans just protecting them and moving the goalpost, sticking their heads in the sand. And listen, we've seen success at Arsenal, and that's all we want. And that's why we do these streams, and we will continue to do it until we see change.
Facts, absolute facts, man. Listen,
yeah, man. Yeah, but listen, great. It's great chat and everything.
We need to do this again, man. Just
yeah, man. Just chill, man. Yeah, man. That's it. Vibes cartel.
Ow. You know what I'm saying?
What you deal with, man? Be it yourself now.
I'm the teacher. You know what I'm saying?
I'm the teacher. Yeah. Hey, hold on. Yo. No, I'm saying, go fix up yourself, yeah? Go fix up yourself. Yo, Arteta, fix up yourself, yeah? And on that junction, we're out of here.
Nah, but quickly, Normsy, before we go, are you Gaza? Yeah. Are you Gully or Gaza?
Am I Gully or Gaza? I don't think I'm neither any of them.
Bro, I'm telling you, yeah, my generation, you Gully or Gaza. You Gully or Gaza. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was, bro. That's what it was. I'm not even Jamaican. I don't know. I'm like, yo,
no, but I would say, yeah, because I'm born here. And I say last time So could you have some people that will like? I know people that love the Jamaican culture to that they will. Like, you would think they were from Jamaica, but they're born here. You know what I'm saying? So when people say, "Oh, you're Gully or Gaza," I'm like, "What? Sorry?" You know, I'm South London, mate. We're dealing with, yeah. I'm from Millwall. I'm from the South East. Get me? Well, if I take this mask off, I'll take this mask off, man. I'm really
world boss and the teacher. You know what I'm saying, bro? I swear Vibes Cartel is Gaza. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think he's Gaza, but I'm Gaza, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what. Because troops Gaza. Is troops Gaza? Is troops? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think when I've heard him, I'm sure he always talks about Gaza. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Wow.
But some people in the chat are saying, some are saying Gully side, some are saying Gaza. Me say Gaza. Me say.
Come on, man. Vibes Cartel, man. Me get gal easy. Them easy. Them follow me like Twitter. Them follow me like Jesus. Me get gal easy. You know what I'm saying?
I'll leave that rap to you.
Nah, bro, I'm telling you. Bro, everyone knew it was Gully vs Gaza when they heard not nice. The boy was like a wounded dog.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Because people, yeah. Because that's why I don't.
Standing, bro. I'm telling you, that's my youth.
You see, you're losing me now. You know. You're losing me, mate. You know what I mean?
Culture, bro. This is your culture, bro. I'm telling you, the chat.
I'm not. Bro. It's not to say that I don't embrace the Jamaican culture, but I, you know, you know, as I said, I'm of a generation that don't kind of, you know, that's not my thing. You know what I'm sort of saying? I'm more those more lovers rock, the more rootsy type music. You know what I mean? When and as I say, I take it with if I get too much of it, it's like, okay, I've listened to it for a couple of hours, and if I don't hear it for a little while, then I play it. It's like, yeah, because you know, some of them, man, when them right. I mean, I love Bob Marley. I love his lyrics and all that. You know, I'm trying to say, and growing up, no woman no cry, no woman no cry.
No, bro, I remember playing GTA. Yeah, anybody that remembers this, yeah, playing Grand Theft Auto. I'm a ganja planter. Call me the ganja farmer. Deep down in the earth for me ganja. Babylon come and light it up to fire me chan. Yes, I'm a ganja planter. So you know you're ganja farmer. Bro, true. Anyone that played that, you know, bro. You know.
You see that? You see, it's coming all back. It's coming all back, bro.
You know what I'm saying? My Caribbean brothers.
The next time we'll see Northside, yeah, he's gonna have locks, man. He's gonna have a rasta out of those locks, you know what I mean?
Ow.
Yeah, Rastafari.
Nah, bro. I'm telling you, people just hear now because I do use people. Yeah, Latin, bro. It weren't always like that. Bro. I'm telling you, I had one bedroom. I'm gonna end it on this. I had one bedroom, yeah, in Harrow, yeah, where I'm from, yeah. I had one bedroom, bro. This guy was a problem. I think he's gone backyard, yeah. He's gone backyard years ago. This guy was a problem. Every time I told him, yo, there's a problem in the ends, whatever, he'd be like, brother, nobody can't bad me, you know. No, brother, you know. He come out the yard, yeah. Bro, this guy come out with a machete, bro. I'm like, yo, Yardi, because all we did, Yardi, we didn't even know his government name. We just knew him as Yardi.
Yardi, yeah.
Crazy, bro. This guy was, I'm telling you, crazy, bro. I'm in some different beef, yeah. This guy just come out, yeah. He's like, nobody can't. He'll come out with 100 chains, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, he's like, but from Yard, these brothers not from Yard. This guy will come up with a machete on my mom's life. Come up with machete, yeah. Come to the bus stop, yeah. He's like, who is it? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I never said to you to bring out. Do you know when they take it so far, yeah? You're like,
yeah.
I never asked for you to do.
Yeah, and they're like this, innit? They're like this. What?
You know, with the cap lean as well, because them yard man, they don't put the cap like this. They put the cap like this.
Oh yeah, man. You lean it to the side, man. You don't wear it frontwards, man. It's like, listen, yo, Northside, listen. What's this guy? You know, what's this, brother? What's this? So you know when yard man is crossing the road, they don't cross straight. They cross at an angle. Yeah, you got. Listen, when you're crossing the road, you cross at an angle, man, and you walk sideways. so you look cool. You know what I mean? That's what it is, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, and it's like, listen, man, you can't beat them, man. You can't beat them, man. I'm telling you.
Big up Jamaica, man. Big up Jamaica.
Oh,
bro.
yo, listen, yeah, Ivory low. Pass the chip on the left-hand side.
Yes.
It's a bun.
The tip on the left-hand side. Yes, yes,
Scandidly bow. Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaac, yeah. That's how tools. Yeah, I know for a fact Jason Carter knows his music. I know that for a fact, brother.
Me and my friendsy from the NZ. Live it up, live it up. You know what I'm saying? Live it up, live it up. Yeah, listen, you man, yeah, you got education today for the man that don't know. Obviously, the Caribbean's in the chat, big up. The ones that don't know, you know now, bro. I'm telling you.
Man,
Wait, night nurse, you know. You know what I'm saying?
Night nurse.
Only you alone can quench this thirst.
What's that? What's the name? Done that? What name? Oh, what's the brother name? He's from Birmingham, white brother. Simply Red. It's Simply Red. What's the name? Simply Red. Simply Red. I'm sure Simply Red did a version of Night Nurse, but they didn't do. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. How did I know that off the top of my head?
Yeah.
Night Nurse, Gregory Isaacs, bro. This is what I'm
man.
saying. I ain't even flipping. I ain't even Caribbean. You know
I'll tell you this as a fun fact, guys. Right, in South East London, down New Cross, right, they've got like music rooms down there, and we was in one studio rehearsing, yeah, and guess who walked in? Gregory Isaac. I said, what? You know what I mean? Listen, no, brother, listen. Like, when you're playing for them reggae man, yeah, when they say drop it on the one, make sure you're dropping it on the one, because I want to. Listen, bro, you gotta make sure. And no, you're not dropping it on the one. Yes, I am. No, you're not. They don't care. They don't care. But yeah, man, them reggae man, them guys, they know their tunes. They know how to just make it. When that bass line and that bass drum, when they sync together, bro, you just can't beat it, man. You just can't beat it, brother. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna leave it as this, yeah. Anybody that remembers Buju Banton Driver? Don't stop at all. Yeah? You already know. You know what I'm saying? You already know.
It's all coming back, right? It's all coming back, yeah.
The league.
Guys.
Yeah? Man think on the internet they know me. You don't know me.
I beg you, Yakarez, Yakarez, please sign the thing.
Come on. We were outside, bro. We were outside. That's all I'm gonna say. We was outside. I was outside. This is how I know this. I was outside. I'm not Jamaican. I'm not Caribbean. How do I know this?
Yeah. But that's what that's what I'm saying. If you grow up amongst or you work with them, especially if you work with them, you learn the lifestyle. I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, it's all coming. Everybody just bring up the real icons. You know what I mean? The real icons, man.
Normski, shout out your channel, bro.
Yeah, Normski TV. On tomorrow with Shane, the Bruised Banana. So I'll be on that tomorrow. And earlier on, I did my show, the What's Going On podcast. So we did delve in and talk about the transfer and whether Berta is cooking or not. And the conclusion is that he does good business in terms of the speed of it, but it's the quality of people that's been coming in. And I don't think that quality of player coming in is going to take us over the line. So listen, we're doing business quick, which is nice to see. But we need to bring in quality players. So I'm hoping that we can get EZE over the line as well. Gokerez over the line. And then if by some miracle we get Rodrigo, then bro, we'll see what I go on. You know what I mean?
Nah, facts. Facts, man. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to Normski TV. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're supporting the man them. And Normski, I appreciate. We're definitely gonna have to do another vibes stream solely. You know what I'm saying? Solely.
Yeah, but listen. Sometimes it's just about chatting life. You know what I mean? It's just about chatting about life and that. You know what I mean? Because football can overtake you sometimes, and sometimes it's just good to just get away from it and just talk about life. You know what I mean? And obviously once the season starts, it's like it's back to the cold face. Everybody's like whatever. But listen, whilst the transfer window is open and we can find a chance to just maybe take our minds off of it. It's not easy to do it, but listen, it's good to just maybe get away from it a little bit and just talk about other things in our lives. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So yeah, big up to the chat, man. Really great. Big up to you, Northside, for having me on. Sorry I was late, but I was I'd finished my stream and everything. I had a bit of dinner before I come on. And then
nah, man, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. Big up, bro. Garnet Silk, man. Kingly character. You know what I'm saying? If you know that tune, you know that tune. But don't tell me that. Yeah, I told you I know about reggae, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, man, they're testing you, bro.
yeah, you can't test me, and I know boy I can't test me. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Everybody, wherever you're from, big up the Caribbeans. You know what I'm saying? It's good to show love to communities outside of your own that showing you love. And the Caribbean is definitely the community that showed me a lot of love during my life. So big up, big up to everybody. You know what I'm saying? We're all human, but big up to the Caribbean community, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely.
In the words of Bob Marley, one love.
One love, exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I said, but one love. And we're going to redirect to Carl, Northside Raid on the way in, and we're out. Love.
Bless.